Good morning, Raptor freaks. Lexiot's here, and it's Tuesday morning, and the Raptors have won 4 games in a row for the first time in the reign of Darko being the coach of the Raptors. We've won 4 in a row. We're going to win 5 in a row, too, because we're going to Washington tomorrow. And there's a good chance we could win 6 in a row because we're playing Chicago on Friday. So, yeah, this is what we've been working for all season, Raptors fans. All the pain and the losing and the development, well, we wanted to get better and show that we could be a good team. Something that bugged me earlier this season was at times it felt like the Raptors may not have a talented enough roster to compete with the rest of the NBA teams. But the evidence of what I've seen recently is this is not true. I mean, there was a little bit of doubt that I had earlier this season that the roster that we've constructed is just not good enough to try to get wins. Well, I'm happy because we are getting wins now, and it is good enough to get some wins in the NBA. And it'll be good enough to beat really good teams too as they get better. You know, it's crazy. Scotty arrived this weekend, and he arrived in a way that the NBA decided to make him the Eastern Conference Player of the Week for the NBA. This is the first time Scotty's won this award, and it won't be the last. I messaged Lloyd, Scotty's friend Lloyd, who plays 2K with, on Instagram because he posted Scotty getting the Eastern Conference Player of the Week award. And I said, he's going to get more of these. And it feels like he's got a deeper understanding of the league at this point. And Lloyd wrote me back. He said, yes, he definitely does. That's confirmation right there. I want to see Scott become the all-time leader in all franchise categories by the time his career is over. I want him to be the leader in scoring all time for the Raptors, beating DeMar. I want him to be the leader in assists all time for the Raptors. I want to see him be the leader in rebounds all time for the Raptors. I want to see him be the leader for steals all time for the Raptors. Blocks all time for the Raptors. Scotty, stay committed to the Raptors franchise for your whole entire career. And by the end of it, I want to see you be the franchise leader in all major stat categories. That's something. Seriously, nobody else has done this in the rest of the league. Our franchise is 30 years in, so it's like you've had some good competition for this, but you could do this, Scott. You are on pace to do this. I'm just saying. You're launching yourself up all the lists and franchise records for the Raptors on a weekly basis. And by the time it's all over, you could see yourself on top, number one on all of those lists. I would be life goals for me if I was Scotty Barnes. I'm going to be the franchise leader in points, rebounds, assists, blocks, and steals for the Toronto Raptors, all-time franchise leader. That sounds cool to me. That's what I'm saying. Nobody does this for the whole entire stat categories for one team. Nobody does. I don't think there's a team in this league that has one guy who has the franchise lead in all categories. Scotty could do this. Scotty could do this. All right. We got to react to a great victory over the New Orleans Pelicans last night at Scotiabank Arena, our 4th in a row. Jakob Poeltl getting the chain again. These guys are 2 chains. Scotty getting 2 chains in Atlanta, and Poeltl getting a chain and a chain around those chains, getting 2 chains. It's hi, Mom. Hi, Mom. Oh, I love you, Mom. I don't know if you heard me say that. Hi, Mom. She's probably going to be like, he's saying hi to me, but she doesn't understand why. I'll just say, hi, Mom. Trevor J is first in. Let's see what the commissioner of fun, Trevor J, is saying this morning. Definition of stupid: knowing the truth, seeing evidence of the truth, but still believing the lie. Oh, man. There's a lot of this going on right now, Trevor. A lot of this, to the point where people think that there's a mandate and a majority for a certain side of politics that is just not there. It's a manufactured bullshit. They believe a lie, and they are going full throttle with it down south in the American government. It's sad, man. It's sad. Stupid is very, very common in this world today with people that just got duped. They thought they're going to get lower grocery prices. No, they're getting higher grocery prices already, and they're seeing fascism in action, a wannabe dictator and an oligarchy sprouting up and taking control. This oligarchy was always in charge for some time. It's just that they used shadow puppetry to control everything. Now they're just blatantly outright saying, yeah, we're in charge now and y'all can't do anything about it. Let's prove them wrong. We can do something about it. We can. And we'll find out. They're going to find out. I'm just saying, it's just all out in the open now. This shit was going on for a while. But, this is the thing that's scary is Trump can be very much like Putin. And Putin is an oligarch, a leader who doesn't take consensus from his people and what they want. He makes decisions for himself and rash decisions. And that's the thing that's scary about it is because in some ways, the United States is no different than Russia right now as far as the power structure of politics with very, very rich people controlling the government and all government decisions. And that's what's happening right now. The billionaires, Zuckerberg, Musk, Bezos, have shown up, and they are now in charge and control of the U.S. government. And not the working class, not the thing that Trump sold them on the election cycle. No, he was lying to y'all the whole fucking time, you dumbass, stupid people that Trevor's talking about this morning. He lied to y'all, and you're finding it out on the other side as he's going into power right now. It's ridiculous. Anyway, I won't go too far into this. All right, Trevor's saying another big W. This team is so beautiful to watch and exciting to see us play great basketball. This was a huge reason why we won last night. We were a team, and the Pelicans were not. The Pelicans are a very talented team. They have players that are very athletic, strong, big, and they have a good roster. They have a lot of good players. In some ways, you may be able to make an argument if they're fully healthy, they're a better talented team than the Raptors. But the thing is, last night they weren't healthy, and they don't play like a team. That's a really big problem for the Pelicans. This is why they're so bad. Their record's so bad is because they do not play like a team. They don't play like a collective of individuals together. They play like just a group of individuals that are just out there doing whatever they're going to do. They're not connected. We are. And you can see the difference in the way those two teams performed last night. There's some beautiful, beautiful passing on the Raptors side of things. A lot of it had to do with Jakob Poeltl being in the middle of it, whether he was passing the pass or taking the pass. The other thing that Jakob did that was amazing last night was he was an ultimate garbage man with the offensive rebound putbacks, really bailing us out left and right on those. But yeah, the Pelicans are a good team if they are playing together and they're healthy. But last night they didn't play together and they're not totally healthy. And a good team that plays like a team, like the Raptors, will beat that every single time. Every single time. That's why I wasn't worried. And at a certain point in the third quarter, the Pelicans, keep saying the Hornets, I don't know why. The Pelicans made a run to try and come back on us. And they got it real close, and people in the chat were freaking out. I'm like, just stop chicken littling, stop freaking out. Just understand the game is a game of runs, and you need to just chill out and let the game unfold. Watch, it'll all work out. Trust me. One of the things I learned last night is that Scotty Barnes can have a bad shooting night and still have a winning effect on the Raptors winning. That's the great thing about him. He's so good. He could have a poor game himself, and then he'll still help the Raptors win and get the W. That's a really, really powerful thing. That's something like Magic. Magic, sometimes when he was playing for the Lakers, he'd have very bad shooting nights where he did not shoot well himself, but he got rebounds. He set up his teammates. He played harassing defense and got steals. He did everything else except, making his shots. And this in some ways was kind of the game for Scotty last night. He shot really bad in the first half and didn't make hardly anything. He was missing left and right. But still, the Raptors were finding themselves with a lead because they have a balanced attack that goes through a lot of different people. And if Scotty is not exactly top form with his shot himself, we still have a chance to win because his all-around play is contributing and making his teammates better. That's the difference, again, with Scotty Barnes and other franchise faces of other teams in the league. They don't have that all-around to them. If LaMelo Ball is not scoring for the Hornets, they're in trouble. But if he has a bad shooting night, they're in trouble. But he has to be playing really well himself for the Hornets to win. Well, Scotty can shoot bad, and we'll still win. That's pretty cool. That's powerful. That's very, very powerful. It means we have depth. It means we have more to us than just Scotty Barnes is our superstar. He's going to take us home and dominate everything. No, 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 no. No, that's not how it is. It's awesome. Trevor's saying Jimmy Butler suspended for walking out on shoot around. Miami lowered the asking price for him. They want him out right away. Yeah, he's suspended indefinitely now. This is similar to Draymond being suspended indefinitely last year for violence. But there was a definite end. It was after counseling and saying he wouldn't do it anymore. Well, Jimmy's probably going to get traded very, very soon. There's an article on ESPN this morning about trades. And the Raptors are mentioned in it. They have 30 sections for each team talking about trades. And I'll read the Raptors section. Once again, it's focused on Chris Boucher. Keep an eye on Chris Boucher, Bruce Brown Jr., and a trade exceptions with the Raptors. We're in a tier called Tier 3, which is watching the bottom line. We're in the same tier as the Celtics and a couple other teams. A roster transformation has Toronto near the bottom of the standings, but with financial flexibility to take back salary at the deadline and add to its 15 draft picks over the next 7 years, the Raptors are $10 million below the luxury tax and have 3 trade exceptions: $12.8 million, $1.6 million, and $1.4 million, along with an open roster spot. In addition to financial flexibility, Toronto could explore trading Brown or Boucher, 2 veterans who are on expiring contracts. Brown missed the first 10 weeks of the season while recovering from knee surgery and returned this month. His $23 million salary is less advantageous than in prior seasons. Brown, a champion with the Nuggets in 2023, could also explore a buyout. His list of contenders would be limited as he would not be allowed to sign with apron teams: Boston, Denver, Lakers, Miami, Milwaukee, Minnesota, New York, Philadelphia, and Phoenix. So he can't sign with any of those teams if he does a buyout. Boucher is having one of his more efficient seasons and earns half, $10.8 million, of what is owed to Brown. The forward is averaging 10.7 points in 17.5 minutes and has set his season high of 23 points twice this month. The trade that works, and this is the trade, we've heard this trade a little bit before, and this is the trade ESPN is proposing for the Raptors right now, is that the Raptors will receive Zeke Naji, Vlatko Kankar, and swap rights in 2031. I don't know why that seems so arbitrary and just like random. Denver receives Chris Boucher. The Raptors are gambling that the swap rights in 2031 have more value than inheriting the $23 million owed to Naji after this season. The 24-year-old is averaging a career low 4.5 minutes. Why would we want a $23 million player that averages 4.5 points a game? These just sound like sometimes these ESPN deals just want to dump bad assets from other teams on us. And that's what this sounds like, Zeke Naji. That's what this sounds like. The top draft assets to use in trades for the Raptors: own first-round pick in the next 7 years, the 2027 top 4 protected first-round pick from Indiana in the Pascal trade. Other notable draft assets: 7 future second-round picks. And other notes: Scotty Barnes signed a rookie extension and has a poison pill restriction. Barnes can still be traded, but his incoming salary counts as $37.2 million and outgoing $10.1 million. Okay, yeah, we're not even talking about that because that's not on the radar. I don't know. ESPN, you're going to talk about your trades and all this stuff like that. If you're talking about Bruce Brown, I'm listening. You're talking about Chris Boucher, I'm not. That's what I'll say about it right there. Yeah. Trevor J saying Isaiah Thomas, NBA. All right, we're going to say Isaiah recent Thomas, not Isaiah Laura Thomas, not Zeke, not our president, the one that I care about. I don't care about this Isaiah, Trevor, by the way. Our Isaiah is Isaiah Thomas, the great Hall of Famer, the first ever Raptors president. So, yeah, this is Isaiah Thomas, who used to play for the Celtics. In some ways, I don't care about this, but come back to join the G League Salt Lake City All-Stars. Yeah, he's come back to the G League like 4 times in the last 3 years. This is not new. Every single time he's come back, he's not made the league. So this is non-story, Trevor. In some ways, this is not a big enough story to be included to talk about. Isaiah Thomas was good for a little while. He's a flash in the pan. They made him a media darling, and they just really want him to come back again. In some ways, I don't care. I don't care. He had his time, and in some ways, it's sad. Injuries and different things happen to players. There's not storybooks written for everybody. And Isaiah Thomas had an NBA career. He should be very proud and happy about that. But yeah, I'm with Smooth. He's saying respect Isaiah Thomas's desire to get back in the NBA. Respectfully, though, he's done. Yeah. I mean, how long has he been out of NBA level action? It's been like 4 or 5 years. I don't understand this. Like you have to build up, build up. If you come out and you're out and then you have to try and break back in, that's not easy because you're older. And in some ways, you have lost that really level that had you in the NBA. And well, Isaiah Thomas has not been an NBA player for like 4 or 5 years now. So him trying to make the league now, respect, like Reggie, I'm with him. It's like respect, but yeah, I don't think this is happening, bro. In some ways, that's just the cold, hard truth. It's just how it is. Kaz is saying, good morning, Lex and crew. We got the W. Let's go Raps. Yeah, I love it. Love it. Dub's in the chat. Dub, dub, W. www. www.www.w.com. That's right. W. Lots of W's for the Raptors this month. 7-7 for the record for the Raptors this season, this month. Actually, we're 7-6 now, y'all. We have a winning record in January right now, I believe. So that's fantastic, man. So good. So good. So good. Yeah, let's see what else y'all are saying here. Smooth saying failed stints in LA with the Lakers and Charlotte proved that. Talking about Isaiah. Seymour saying, who's our next victim? Okay, Goldberg. Kicking ass and collecting wins. It's the Washington Wizards. The Raptors will get on a plane today and fly to Washington, D.C. to play Jonas Valanciunas and the Washington Wizards. And we'll play them in their arena for the first time. We'll play them this year. They've been hiding them from us this whole entire season so far. We haven't played one game against the Wizards yet. We got to get all our games in against them before the end of the year. So, yes, Raptors fans are going to win more. So, yeah, we're going to go play the Wizards, and we're going to beat their ass. I'm going to say this right now. We've been winning against teams lately. We cannot afford to lose to the Wizards, even if tank commanders would be happy about it. We really just can't, because that would be a backslide. Seriously. This is a situation where we're the better team, obviously, and we need to go in there and take care of business on the road and beat a team on the road tomorrow night. It doesn't, no excuses, no bullshit. We are good now. We're playing good. We're playing good with chemistry. We have no excuse to lose the Wizards tomorrow night. And if we see a loss to the Wizards tomorrow night, I'm going to be upset on Thursday morning when I do my reaction. I'm going to say that right now. I am going to be upset. That's right. Smooth saying Washington, they have folded up the tents and they're unwatchable. Yeah, some of these teams that have records like us are just hopeless, but we're not. We are not. It's like Matt Devlin laid out on the broadcast last night. A lot of teams are struggling right now. We saw the Hawks recently. They're struggling. Orlando's struggling more right now. Miami's got Jimmy Butler problem. You know, we got Washington. We got New Orleans. These are bad teams. And we are actually streaking. And we are actually looking good. And now it's our time to win some games while other teams in the East lose. And who knows? Maybe we jump up the Eastern Conference standings a bit because we have leapfrog Charlotte and Brooklyn as of this week. That's right. We're a half game above the Brooklyn Nets right now. And we are not the bottom team in the Atlantic Division right now. Tank Commanders, Cooper capture the flag people, they're upset because we're not close to the flag anymore. We're stepped a couple of spots away, and now Charlotte and Brooklyn are in between us and the capturing the flag. I love this. I don't give a shit. Let's go for the play-in. I'm all about it. We can do whatever the fuck we want. I don't care. We got a badass front office, and we're going to get a good pick no matter where we land. That's what Coach Andrade told Superfan Mo on Sunday. We don't care where we're going to land. We're going to pick wherever good. We're going to pick. We're going to pick good because we know that we got Masai Ujiri. That's right. Seymour saying, watch Riley send Jimmy to Utah for Markkanen and Kessler. That'd be fun. I mean, in some ways, you know, that's what you do. They wanted to punish Kawhi, so they sent him to Canada. They want to punish Jimmy, send him to Mormon country. That's right. Send him the hell out to Latter-day Saints country and let him run around in the no life nightlife out there. You think Miami's bad? How could you get so mad at Miami, Jimmy Butler? You're going to Utah, motherfucker. That's right. Why don't they just demote him to the Sioux Falls Skyforce? Like, why don't they just do that? Jimmy, you're in the G League team now. You're going to South Dakota. That'll teach him. Pat Riley be like, that'll teach him. You're under contract with us, but you're on the G League team. You're playing for Skyforce. I mean, they could get creative with this. So they're going to exile him to Utah. Man, Jimmy, you might want to, man, you mess things up bad. Fiercey saying, good morning, fam, and happy Tuesday. 4 wins in a row, baby. Let's go, MJ. That's right. Rock and roll. Let's go. Yakaperto, you're my hero, my guy. You are my hero. My hero. My Austrian hero. That dude is a badass, man. No lie. Seymour saying, morning, Raptor Freaks, and I, Candy. Yes, good to see that. Yeah, Jimmy Pope saying, big dubs, baby. That's right. Big dubs in the chat, y'all. Big dubs in the chat for Scotty. Big dubs for the chat. You know, Scotty is so modest. Scotty, in the pregame interview with Kayla Gray, getting, them announcing, Scotty, you're the Eastern Conference Player of the Week. How does it feel? What's going on? And Scotty, he just won this award. He's never won this award before. He was going to get a statue that he's going to get at his house that says NBA Player of the Week for this week, and he'll have it forever. He'll put it next to his Rookie of the Year award and all that. And, well, Scott's like talking about his team. He didn't talk anything about himself. No kudos about being the player of the week or anything like that. He ignored that Kayla said that. He said, I'm really proud of our team and how we're playing together. We're keeping it together. These guys are really passionate and playing the right way with me. And I'm really, really happy and excited playing with these guys. That's basically what he said in the interview. He said nothing about himself. There was no egotism. Nothing about, yeah, I'm so great. I'm the player of the week. No, he didn't do any of that energy. It was all about devotion and connection with his teammates that he harped on the whole entire interview with Kayla Gray. That says something. You know, if this is going to be a trade-off, Scott, in your personality, where you're going to be completely modest in interviews and like all totally just showering praise on your teammates, your coaches, and the organization, I don't mind if you look back and get cocky on the court then. If you're going to be cocky on the court and showing people up and looking at people and doing all kinds of crazy stuff out there, but when you're in interviews, you're going to be the most modest, person like you were last night. I'll take that trade-off, Scott. If you have your cocky outlet by looking at people and staring back at them when you're about to dunk it, I'll take this trade-off. Because honestly, you impressed me in the interview yesterday. Kayla Gray coming up to you and just giving you all the flowers. You're Eastern Conference Player of the Week, Scott. What does he talk about? He talks about how much, I love playing with RJ. We have such a good connection right now. It's a lot of fun playing with RJ right now. That's awesome, man. That's a real leader. That's the kind of leader I wanted for this team. And, well, Scott's really developing into that leader. He's becoming that leader more and more, and it's more tangible right now. You know, in the first 4 years of his career, we had ideas about what he could develop into, but nothing's guaranteed. You don't know for sure Scott can come to this point with this place that he's at right now with his team leadership. But he's there now. It's very tangible, and it's very much helping us win. I think that the energy that he's expending on the defensive end is just as important as the energy he's expending on the offensive end. If you notice, Scott is so locked in. He's running to the next winning play wherever he is. And it's often, if the other team has the defense, he is coming up and guarding up on them like that. He's running over and trying to block shots from the weak side. He's running in and grabbing huge rebounds and making sure we end the possession for the other team. So there's a lot of energy spent by Scott, and it has nothing to do with scoring. It has other things to do with things on the court that help us win. And, man, I'm all about that. It's so good. It's so good. Nako is here. Nako, the nacho. What a crazy season Davion Mitchell has had. He's pretty cool. You know, Davion did wear the green shoes. He put them on blast on his Instagram story yesterday. He said, should I wear these lime green shoes? And, yeah, he did. He wore them. And, boy, could you see them on TV. Yeah, you could see those glow-in-the-dark looking shoes. So bright, that bright lime shoes that he had last night. Actually, let's do the Instagram stories. We'll do things a little out of order today. Why not? I haven't done the stars yet. All right, first of all, we got Raptors 905 reacting to their Asian heritage jerseys that they're going to be wearing tomorrow against the Birmingham Squadron. Tomorrow's Asian heritage game, and they're going to be wearing these beautiful jerseys that have Chinese lanterns on them with the numbers 905 on it. And the Raptors 905, Frank Kaminsky saying, this is the most unique jersey I've ever worn in my professional career. I've never worn a jersey like this before, is what Frank Kaminsky said. Most of the 905ers had positive reactions to the jersey, saying, oh, this is fire. This is cool. This is different. I like the way they put the numbers on the lanterns. I think that's what AJ Lawson said, something like that. But, yeah, they got new jerseys. Y'all can check them out. I don't think they're as good as the Dragon jerseys as last year, but they'll be playing the Asian Heritage game tomorrow night at Paramount Food Center against the Birmingham Squadron. Unfortunately, that game will be on at the same time as the Washington Wizards game against the Raptors. Blake Murphy is saying on Blue Skies right now that Jacoby Walter, Jonathan Mobo, and the two ways, that's Shamshay, Lawson, and Battle, are back with the 905, and they will be staying here and not going on the plane with the Raptors to Washington. So no Walter, no Mobo, no Battle, no Lawson, no Shamshay for the Wizards game tomorrow night. Those guys will be in Mississauga to play in the Asian Heritage game, just so y'all know. Just a little housekeeping to get to know where the going and goings of our team are. Also, we got Jonathan Mobo celebrating Scotty getting player of the week. That's very, very cool. Very, very cool stuff. Of course, best friends are going to be happy for each other. Eric Smith's still on that Buffalo stuff. I mean, it was kind of sad to listen to the sadness in Jack's voice reacting to the Buffalo game. He's like, oh, it was a great game. It was fun to watch, but sadly, the wrong team won. Poor Jack. Poor Jack. And Buffalo Nation, I feel for y'all, but Bills Nation, Bills Mafia, I know that y'all are strong in our community, and you a lot of y'all are Raptors fans too. I'm not a Bills fan, so I have to preface this. I feel bad for you guys because I honestly seen the history of the Bills and how much they've gone to the Super Bowl and all the different things. And it sucks that it was Kansas City again. So I get it. Grady's all happy because Kansas City Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl, but he's like the only one. He's the only one. Of course, Kyle Lowry's very happy about his Eagles going on the other side. And I know that there's some Eagles fans around Raptors Nation also. So man, I feel bad for Bills Nation. I know they're grieving and they're still having a hard time. And Kayla Gray was trying to be nice to Jack Armstrong last night on the broadcast because of this. It is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah, Eric Smith's got some funny stuff on his Instagram about this. Jamal Shed putting a couple players of the week on. First of many player of the week for Milos Uzan of Houston Cougars. And then Scotty Barnes, player of the week in the NBA in the Eastern Conference. Scotty's got put him on blast. Very good, Mr. Barnes. Very good is what Shed's saying. There's Shed coming in the arena with his little rookie bag. You know, I've noticed that recently in the entry photos, the Jacoby and Jamal very proudly present their little Kawhi rookie bags to show that they have them. And in some ways, they're a badge of honor. They're showing I'm in the NBA, I'm a rookie, and I have to carry this stupid bag because my vets told me to. And I'm just so happy I'm in the league. I'm going to show my little Hello Kitty bag to you guys every time I come in. So, yeah, they've been doing that lately, and it's hilarious. There was one picture of both of them together walking in, holding their bags up. Because it's true. Some of us are sticklers, and we want to make sure the rookies are following the rules. And if you don't show that bag, we're going to be thinking, oh, man, those rookies are getting out of their rookie duties. And they're not carrying their Hello Kitty bags. So you better present those bags in the hallway, Jamal and Jacoby. And very, very proudly do it because that means you're in the NBA and you're a rookie in the NBA. So you go on then. Charles Oakley had some sort of class going. He's got a bunch of students or something like that. It's Charles Oakley Foundation. It was a great day in Atlanta for these young ladies of Sumter Central High School cheerleading. So they're cheerleaders, high school cheerleaders at the Charles Oakley Foundation in Atlanta doing something there. There's Lloyd's post of Scotty getting player of the week, and the one that I commented in, and he replied to me. He's listening to Central C. And there he is, Lloyd, making music, man. Lloyd's got some music he's making. Y'all need to check it out. Seriously. Lloyd is making music. He's on the Winamp or whatever. He's on some sort of music making site, and he's putting music together. So check out What About Lloyd, Scott's friend. Emmanuel has got Scotty on blast for player of the week. Also, he's got the score from last night. And Emmanuel's got a new commercial. Y'all were talking about it yesterday, and I finally saw it. This commercial with Kelly and Emmanuel is for Clutch Insurance or something like that. And said, coming in clutch, quickly, coming in quickly with Clutch. And they're saying quickly. Is like the agent's like, yeah, I'm going to put you in a new ad for quickly. He's like, I didn't know about this. And then his mom's calling him. He's saying, oh, I'm so proud of you, son. He's like, I didn't know about this, Mom. He's like, it's a pretty funny commercial. Emmanuel Quickly, you're made for commercials, man. You're funny. You got a good vibe to you. So, yeah, it's a cool new commercial for Quickly with Clutch. Clutch, that's right. Toronto Tempo president was so happy last night to see the GOAT of women's soccer, sitting in the front row at the Raptors game wearing a Toronto Tempo hoodie. Christine St. Clair, Canadian legend, GOAT, at the game last night. Her first Raptors game ever, apparently, which is crazy. She's a West Coaster. She's usually out in Vancouver. But she came and she wanted to come meet Scotty, honestly. That's what they said in the broadcast. Because she saw last year when she had her final game that Scotty wore her jersey in honor of her coming into the arena. And well, she wanted to come get her signed Scotty Barnes jersey last night. And I'm sure she did. But it's great to see soccer royalty and Christine Sinclair sitting at courtside for the game last night, enjoying the game. You can tell she's a competitor, a sports competitor, because she's locked in and really paying attention to how the Raptors were dismantling the New Orleans Pelicans last night. And that is just awesome. And boy, you do so much good for women's sports wearing the Tempo hoodie last night. And I know Teresa Resch was so happy to see that. So happy to see that. You're making it bona fide like that. Masai Ujiri's got a quick post of just the entrance to the locker room on the Raptors locker room. I don't know. Why is that so quick, Masai? Slow it down. Slow it down. I can't stop it. Slim Duck. He's got all this crazy stuff when I'm trying hard to be nice, but people be making my gangster come out. Okay. It's a crazy grandma. Oh, man. Yeah, Chris is funny, man. He made that one shot, and then he did his little, like, cock the shotgun thing the other way. He's just in the zone, man. He's so much fun. And then the Garrett and them on the bench were doing impressions of him after he made his shot. They were like doing a little after him. It's hilarious. And there's Jakob doing the high mom with the chain again. The high mom things. There's Scotty's player of the week thing too, of course. Davion Mitchell's given us opportunities to know when he's walking the dog. He's shown us him walking the dog like 4 times since they got back from Atlanta. Well, they were out there at 12:12 yesterday, around noon, walking his dog, and it looks like there's some snow melt in his yard at this point. That's a cute dog, Davion. Man, that's such a cute little dog. Wow, what a cute dog. And Davion's got some of his highlights going on. Keep going, bro. Keep going. I lift. There you go. He's got new shoes he wants to ask about, guys. He's got these blue shoes with a little bit of red, yellow, and green on them. And he's saying, are these fire? So go and take Davion's shoe quiz on Instagram. You can tell him if you like his blue shoes, and maybe he'll wear them tomorrow in the Washington game. So it's like Davion's being way more interactive with the fans on Instagram right now. So go follow Davion Mitchell on Instagram if you want to interact with him. RJ Barrett put Scotty on blast for player of the week. Scotty, RJ and Scotty are interesting because they're very good. And RJ's not a jealous kind of guy, man. In some ways, Scotty's success is his success, and the same back. RJ's success is Scotty's success. And they really do believe that. And you saw the connection is there night in, night out. The way that Scotty and RJ are so talented that they can zero in on the same level of connection, it really makes our team so good. Because like there's a lot of stuff happening with full court passes between RJ and Scotty. There's a lot of really daring kind of like connection passes that they're absolutely successful in connecting. And I love it, man. There's so much stuff. And you saw the chest bump late in the game with RJ and Scotty. I'm telling you, they're a great duo. And the stats don't lie. They keep showing this stat about the two of them in the league. There's only a few duos that have a certain amount of points, rebounds, and assists in the league right now. I'm telling you, they're a great combo. RJ and Scotty. Great combo. They're really working well. There's RJ with Zion after the game, trading jerseys. This is the first time we beat Zion Williamson ever in the history of his career. He was 5-0 against us, and we beat him last night in person, finally, so that we finally beat him. Zion was unstoppable, to be honest. He was very annoying last night. I didn't realize that he did so much driving to the basket and just slippery slinking through. That's what Jakob said after the game, that Zion's really hard to stop because he's so quick and heavy and strong, but he's also slippery. Jakob making light that he's a very slippery character. You think you can grab him, but he's slimy. He just slides right through you. Apparently, that's what Jakob said after the game. But yeah, he was annoying how much he was scoring, and I'm glad we finally beat him. And I'm really happy that we season swept the New Orleans Pelicans. This is something that's important, guys. In some ways, with such a dismal record this season, winning season series against Atlanta and New Orleans, it makes a difference. It matters because these players can say, well, at least we're better than these teams because we beat them this year. So it's important. It's important. Also on his Instagram, there's RJ's little dunk that he got. The cuts with Jakob that different players were doing and the cuts, and then Jakob just giving the ball to them perfectly for their cut to make the layups were fantastic. And some of those cuts with RJ, that dunk, just masterful. And we even had a really cool alley-oop at one point, which looked like it wasn't going to make it, but it did. It was crazy. There's been these alley-oops lately where it was like at the beginning of the game, it was Jakob and Grady, I think. I don't remember. It was either Jakob or Grady or Jakob and RJ. And the alley-oop looks impossible, but they make it still somehow, some way. It's awesome. It's so awesome. Matt Devlin, Kayla Gray, and Jack Armstrong doing their tip talk before the game. They always do. And Jack got good marks for yesterday. Kayla said that he actually did a good job on this one. He did the Jack drop. It's so stupid, man. It's so stupid and dumb. The TikTok stuff is taken off, Kayla, and it's kind of becoming a thing. And yeah, maybe these guys will get some rhythm at some point if you teach them enough. At some point, these guys are going to have to fall into rhythm. It's like a clock's right twice a day if it's dead. You know what I'm saying? Boucher, Boucher, Boucher. Yeah, he was yelling Boucher a lot last night. Matt Devlin, really, really happy yelling Boucher. And in some ways, I feel like with Matt and Jack yelling Boucher's name over in the corner during the game, that it eggs Chris on. He can probably hear them to an extent, yelling Boucher, Boucher. He's yelling it at the court side. Of course, Chris might be able to hear him. He's like, "Oh yeah, Matt Devlin, I'll give you more to Boucher about." Yeah. I bet you that's what he does. It's like because you can't help but hear Matt Devlin. Boucher, Boucher, Boucher. He's like yelling Boucher over and over again. He's crazy, man. Those guys are so awesome. All right, let's see. Is there any more on the Instagram stories? Toronto Tempo swag all over the place. In fact, that lady who had a show, Lily Singh, she was on a late night show. She got her Toronto Tempo, apparently. She's all happy about it. And they're really happy about this. Kayla Gray with us, Christine St. Clair wearing the Toronto Tempo hoodie. It's a nice hoodie, too. I like that one. I like that black one. It's really, really nice. They gave her a jersey, too, with her goal number on it, 105. Really, really, really awesome stuff, and great to see her there. In fact, I was wondering, why wasn't she at the GOAT game? I know Director X is a GOAT, but, man, y'all should have had a GOAT game for Christine St. Clair, Raptors organization. That's how you promote women's sports. Put that GOAT on GOAT night and say, this is the greatest of all time. This is Christine St. Clair, and we're doing a GOAT night for her. Because in some ways, you may have missed the opportunity to do a GOAT night last night because you had a GOAT in the house, is what I'm saying, MLSE. That's right. That's right. Let's see. Open Gym Director has got the preview for tomorrow's Open Gym that's coming out today. It's going to be all about DeMar and Kyle. And they come and sit down on the couch and they say, it's just like it's 2014 all over again. I'm going to love this. I don't know if I'm more excited about seeing this or more excited about seeing the Vince Carter chapter of the Sportsnet documentary coming out next. I think I'm more excited to see the Kyle and DeMar fun on Open Gym, honestly. Open Gym's just better than Sportsnet. I'm sorry. You guys did a good job with the first episode of the birth of the Raptors, but in some ways, your announcer's corny, and there was some stuff that you put down our team when you didn't have to. Now, with the Open Gym, is always done respectfully and at the highest level of production. And I'm excited about revisiting the bromance between Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan on the latest Open Gym episode coming out today. So I can't wait to see it. It'll be out today. Then I'll react to it tomorrow. We can talk about it tomorrow. And then on the 29th, which is tomorrow, we'll get that Vince Carter era documentary from Sportsnet in their series that they're doing on the 30 years of Raptors. And there'll be interviews with Vince and Tracy McGrady in it. That's the thing is weird. The first episode, they said we tried to get Tracy McGrady to interview for this, but he wouldn't come. But he came for the second episode. So what the hell? Why do you even make it sound like McGrady wouldn't interview with you guys when obviously he's in the next episode with Vince? Yeah, I don't understand you, Sportsnet. Sometimes I just don't understand you. You silly shit like that. That's right. We back like it's 2014. Let's go, Debo and K-Lo. That's what I'm saying right there. Yeah, that's what I am saying. All right, I think that's it. I don't want to do any more of the Instagram. It's not that interesting. Yeah, Scotty's player of the week, and everybody's celebrating it.
Everybody's celebrating he's the player of the week. That's right. That's right. Hi, Seymour from Kaz. Smooth saying, apparently Kyle Kuzma wants out of Washington. And there's no market for Jonas. That doesn't sound right. Reggie, there's got to be a market for Jonas Valanciunas. He's only getting paid $10 million a year, and he's a starting caliber center. And there's a lot of teams that are lamenting they don't have a backup center right now. So Jonas Valanciunas very much has probably one of the best markets out of any of the players that are out there in the trade thing right now. So I don't know if this is true, man. I don't know if this is true. It doesn't make sense to me, is what I'll say. That's what I'll say. But I can understand Kyle Kuzma wanting to be out of Washington. I thought he would have wanted out of there a couple years ago. Now you just suddenly decide, I don't want to be here. What the hell, Kyle Kuzma? You should have said that when you got off the plane to show up there. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. Now you say you won't want to be here? That's crazy, man. In some ways, I don't think Kyle Kuzma is that smart up here. Seriously. I don't think he's that smart. Fiercely saying, but Jimmy wants to go to Phoenix. Let them deal with the dumpster fire. We've got bigger and better things ahead of us. Go Raptors. That's right. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with Jimmy Butler. Phoenix is, got fire. The sun has fire, and, well, it's a dumpster fire. And in some ways, everything they've been doing has been a dumpster fire. Even if it seems like it would be successful, Kevin Durant. We got Kevin Durant. Yeah, that's fantastic. He's a great player. Why are you a dumpster fire? You guys are doing so many amazing things in Phoenix, but your team sucks. And you're all messed up. It's weird, man. So, yeah, send Jimmy over there. You'll add to it. That's right. G saying Lonzo Ball of the Pistons. Is that official? All right, let's go see if there's breaking news on a deal. This could happen. There's going to be deals going on. Let's see if this is actually true. This is a reliable source from G. G is a reliable source. Lonzo Ball to the Pistons. Well, I mean, that's a way of punishing him for sitting out for a couple years with injury and not being there for the Bulls. We'll send you the Pistons. Although the Pistons are better now. That's interesting. I wonder how Lonzo fits with Cade, though. Is that a real deal? Y'all, is that official? That's what we want to know. All right, Stargate saying send Kyle and JV to Miami for Jimmy and Duncan Robinson. Kyle Kuzma and JV. Yeah, no, don't say just Kyle. Yeah, I might think Lowry. Yeah, okay. I mean, I don't want to work out any trades to help other teams. This sounds like this helps those teams. Kaz is saying W. Lloyd for responding. Yeah, well, Lloyd has consistently talked to me when I reach out to him. He is my lifeline to Scott. If I have a message for Scotty Barnes, I can send a message to Lloyd and he will get it to him. And I appreciate that. Lloyd has consistently talked to me since the Twitch family. I talk to him probably every 3 or 4 months just through Instagram messages. Yeah, Lloyd's a good guy, man. And we've talked a lot on his Twitch himself. Like he would be in there by himself, like making music or something like that. And Raptor Street would be the only one in there talking to him just straight up. And he's told me a lot about Scott. And like, he's the one who told me Scotty doesn't drink at all. And that Scotty does not smoke weed. And that he's very, very healthy and clean with like his lifestyle, because he does really prioritize being the absolute best basketball player he can be in this world. Yeah. G saying it came up in my alerts, but trying to find the details so I don't spread misinformation. But apparently Cam Johnson to the Spurs as part of a 3-team trade. Well, I'm not seeing anything on ESPN right now about any deals or anything like that. So we don't know if this is for sure. I guess I could go to Blue Skies and see if anybody's saying anything there, but I don't see anything right now as far as any of that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I will see if there's a confirmation. That's an interesting deal. Let's see. Cool Cat's here. Good morning, Raptor Freak crew. Dub record. Dubs. That's right. Getting the dubs. Collecting the dubs. All right, let's go ahead and see the stars of the game. My number one star of the game is Jakob Poeltl. He got the chain, and rightfully so, because in some ways, this is the thing. Jakob was questionable in the morning yesterday. And I said, man, I really hope that Jakob can play. And I even said, I hope Oshai can play. And I don't know, magic happened, and both Abaji and Pirtle were available to play last night, which was absolutely key in Jakob's case. Because honestly, we may not have done it so well in this game without Jakob. He was so important on the offensive rebounds in some ways. He was so good. 32 minutes for Jakob Pirtle, 10 of 14 from the field. You love those little push shots. You love the little ways that he slinks underneath the basket to get little reverse layups away from the defense. You love the way that he's so money around the basket. There's not flubbing bunnies or missing layups very often. More often than not, 10 for 14, that shot is going in. 1 for 2 at the free throw line. He did have a wild free throw at one point. 5 offensive rebounds with 14 rebounds altogether. 5 assists also for Yak. 3 blocks, 1 turnover, plus 20, 21 points in 32 minutes. A double-double for Yak. And, in some ways, the blocks were awesome. There was a block early in the game that he got on Zion that was huge. And that's something, you're trying to stop Zion is so difficult, as we've said. And the fact that he was able to block him a couple times and stop him was fantastic. In fact, Orlando Robinson had some luck with slowing down Zion also. But he's tough. And I also commend Scotty for taking that assignment. I knew that whoever's going to take Zion Williamson was going to have a tough defensive assignment. Well, of course, Scotty's going to take him. Of course, Scotty's going to want to match up with him. In some ways, it's the smartest matchup because he's probably the closest to being as strong and fast as him out of anybody on our team. So it made sense. And I know Scotty versus Zion is a matchup that Scotty was relishing going into it, saying, yeah, I'm going to take on Zion Williamson. I'm going to beat his ass. Well, Scott, you did. You did beat him. You beat him as a team. You may not have outscored him, but that's not what matters in this game. It's a team game. And Zion Williamson can score 31 points on 13 and 18 shooting with 7 rebounds, 2 assists, and 3 blocks. But you can get 21 points as the second star of the game. It's 37 minutes, 6 of 21. Like I said, Scotty did not shoot good last night. 6 of 21. That's horrible shooting. And we still carried and won. 1 of 7 from 3. The 1 3 he made, I was like, oh, finally made one. But in some ways, I don't like him shooting so many threes like he did last night in the ways he did. In some ways, I was not happy with Scotty's shot selection last night. If not with that, I was happy with everything else he did as far as involving with his teammates, the defense, rebounding, stuff like that. I was happy with. But the shooting decisions by Scotty last night were not the best. Let's just put it that way. Not the best. Scotty was 8 for 9 at the free throw line. This is an area that he's been absolutely fantastic in showing leadership for the team as far as taking his free throws very seriously, taking his time, and sinking most of them. Scotty is a very, very top-level free throw shooter. And the way that he shoots his free throw is very automatic and same form all the time. I love it. This is important because he's going to get a bulk of the free throws going forward in the future of the Raptors, and we need to have him be a very consistent, reliable free throw shooter. And that's what he is. 11 rebounds for Scotty on a double-double, 2 assists shy of a triple-double with 8 assists, 3 steals, 1 block, 1 turnover, 21 points for Scotty Barnes in 37 minutes. I can forgive him for the bad shooting, partly also because he only limited himself to 1 turnover. And that's been an area where there's been some difficulty with him and RJ and a couple of other main players with collecting too many turnovers in the games lately. So if you're going to do one or the other, well, in some ways, I'm glad you didn't have so many turnovers, Scotty, if you didn't shoot so well. That's what I'll say about that. So, and in some ways, shooting 6 for 21 and still being one of my top stars says a lot. My next star of the game is Chris Boucher. Chris Boucher off the bench is just electric. He's a vibe. He's a feeling. He is a trendsetter. He is somebody that I value on this team. And I think he just loves being on the Raptors too, guys. I think he really does love being on the Raptors. Every time I see him off the court these days, he's wearing Raptors gear. And that shows like a bona fide commitment to our franchise. I mean, why would he wear that Raptors toque coming in the game if he's like, oh, I'm about to get traded? No, he likes being in Toronto. And if he doesn't get traded, he'll be very happy. Trust me. If he doesn't get traded, he'll be very happy. 18 minutes for Chris. 5 of 10 from the field, 4 of 9 from 3. Those threes are amazing. 4 rebounds, 1 steal, a plus 18 in 18 minutes with 14 points in 18 minutes. The points production per minute is fantastic for Chris Boucher this season. He's just having a career year. And in some ways, once again, I'm going to say this. So many different Raptors are having career years this year. Yes, I know a lot of them are young, but the older guys are having career years too. Jakob Poeltl and Chris Boucher are older, and they're having career years. They're having their best professional NBA careers right now, both of them. And I have to say, I point that finger at Darko and his fantastic coaching and getting more out of players because these guys have been in the league for a while. And Chris Boucher ain't never been like this on our team since he's been here until right now. And I'm going to give a lot of credit to Darko because of that. I am, seriously. My next star of the game, 4th star of the game, is Bruce Brown. Yeah, Bruce Brown's been doing stuff on the bench. I'll admit it. He's been doing good things like rebounding and making very easy little shots in the mid-range around places and little push shots. And he's a little bit more dialed in now that he's been back for a few games. His rhythm's there, and he's actually making more of his shots. So I'm very happy with Bruce Brown from last night. He's continued to showcase he's a useful NBA player, which will hopefully make it easier to trade him. 4 of 8 from the field. He made all 4 of his free throws. 9 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals, 2 turnovers, a +4 with 12 points in 29 minutes. Bruce does have those moments, though, still where I feel like he's down low sabotaging us, where he just flubs a play and turns the ball over. There's just something stupid, like he stepped on the end line last night and caused a turnover that way. Sometimes there's a little bit of that kind of stuff that I get annoyed with. Like he misses something really easy, and then I'm like, but every player's going to have mistakes. And I got to understand, well, Bruce has had mistakes. It's not that he's trying to hurt us. He's not trying to hurt us. Let's see. The last star of the game, I'll pick RJ. RJ was solid enough. He only got 17 points. I'm used to him getting over 20, but he was solid enough. 8 of 19 from the field, 1 of 4 from 3. He missed all 3 of his free throws, including 2 at the end of the game, but we had a double-digit lead, so it didn't matter that RJ completely missed 2 crucial clutch free throws that in some ways weren't that crucial. But still, that's an area where you got to tidy up, RJ, is the free throw line. You're still not getting it there. Since you've been a Raptor, your free throw shooting has been abysmal. Seriously, overall. 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 turnover, +15 for RJ Barrett, 17 points in 34 minutes. Yes, RJ's is a solid bucket. The thing that him and Grady do that I really love is that they carry offense when we're having trouble scoring. All of a sudden, Grady will just do a measured mid-court, a mid-range shot, and all of a sudden we got a bucket when we're getting stagnant. And RJ's the same kind of way. If we're having trouble getting a score, just give the ball to RJ and let him try and bully his way to the basket and make a layup somehow, some way. And that is instant offense in all kinds of situations. That's a really good luxury for the Raptors to have right now, because there's been periods of time since the championship where our team has not had a roster that can get those kind of scores whenever we need to if we're in trouble. We'll have teams that are supposedly good offensively, but they just don't know how to get out of a scoring drought. In some ways, the greatness and fundamentals of Grady Dick and his shooting and the boldness of RJ Barrett are those safety valves that get us scores when we are about to be stagnating in a drought. So I appreciate both of them for that. I really do. Davion Mitchell was really good last night. He had one of the highest plus minuses on the team last night. I'll give him an honorable mention. 24 minutes, 3 of 8 from the field, 1 of 4 from 3. 4 assists, 1 steal, 3 turnovers, a +18, though, with 7 points. The stat line doesn't really tell you what Davion does, but he did it. He was doing it, and he is a very specialized defensive player. Jakob Poeltl in his after-game interview saying that he really likes Davion on the team. He's one of our best defensive pieces, is what he said. He's the frontline attack for our defense. And he even said that he hopes that Davion will be with the Raptors long-term. So he gave a nod in his interview last night saying that he wants Davion to be on this team next year. So you better listen, Masai and Bobby, and figure out Mitchell to get him in a Raptors jersey for next season, because our center likes playing with him. Grady Dick, 19 minutes, 3 of 6, 3 of 8 from the field, 1 of 4 from 3. He made all 3 of his free throws, 6 rebounds. I like the rebounding by Grady last night. In some ways, Pelicans are a physical team, and he was in there mixing it up. And, we saw the fearlessness of Grady Dick taking a charge from Zion Williamson. He's done that twice this year. They've made light of him taking a charge from Antetokounmpo in the Bucks game recently. Well, yeah, Grady's like that. Maybe he's a little dumb. Maybe he's a little ballsy. Getting in the way of these guys coming down the lane like that is crazy. 5 fouls for Grady. That was the problem with Grady last night. He got in foul trouble early and limited his minutes for the game overall because of that. +8, though, with 10 points in 19 minutes. Orlando Robinson, great off the bench, his backup center stuff. We'll have to find out today if he's going to get that second 10-day contract. He does deserve it, Masai and Bobby. He does. And in some ways, with Kelly out right now, it's very nice to have Orlando on the team. I think he's really good defensively. In 2 games now, I've seen him. He's like a wall. In some ways, he's very, very good at stymieing and stifling the offense near the basket somehow, some way, just by being a big body and being in between the person trying to score and the basket. He doesn't necessarily block shots. He doesn't necessarily play extra good defense. It's just about where he's positioning himself and holding his ground. Has been very, very effective at making teams miss. And I'm all about it. He did a fairly good job on Zion. Nobody does a perfect job on Zion. Zion's gonna get his. But the couple of trips where you actually can try and stop him or he just barely misses, that's a success to me. That's a success because Williamson is like that, is what I'm saying. So, Orlando, you're great. 1 for 1, 2 for 2 at the free throw line. Very, very professional at the free throw line. I'm watching players when they get the free throw line to see how they take their free throws and whether they make them. And Orlando is a pro. He stood up there. He did them just right. He breathed. He took his time, and he made them both. 1 rebound, 1 assist, 1 turnover, 4 fouls, 4 points, a minus 15 for Orlando Robinson. The stats don't really do justice. He was fine. He didn't do anything wrong out there. He held his own, and I'd like to see him continue to wear a Raptors jersey, Masai, is what I'm saying. Abaji came back from injury finally, and it was nice to see him right away. We see him get a nice layup, some nice defensive work on CJ McCollum right away. So it was nice to see Abaji return, and it's like the announce crew said, he played a lot of minutes earlier in the season when he was starting. He's been out now, and now he's got to fight his way back in the rotation to carve out minutes for himself. I have full confidence he will because he's a very, very good defensive player, and he is very helpful to our team in all kinds of ways. And all the stuff he's already done with the team, the gelling and different things, that counts. And, well, Abaji will get his minutes increased back again. He may not start again for the rest of the season, but he's going to be a part of the regular rotation for sure. Jamal, he got 1 for 2 from the field. 1 rebound, a 1 turnover, minus 11 with 2 points. Jamal Shed, the other player who played last night, 24 minutes, 2 of 9 from the field, 1 of 5 from 3, 2 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 turnovers, block, 5 points for Jamal Shed. Yeah, our bench production was a huge part of winning last night also. The Pelicans had a really hard time getting any points from their bench. Meanwhile, we got Bruce and Chris both getting double digits and adding 26 points just between the two of them, outscoring the whole entire Pelicans bench. The Pelicans only scored 16 points off their bench. So, yeah, good job by the Raptors overall. A team effort with six guys getting double digits in scoring. Very, very good. Very, very good. Yeah. Let's see what else y'all are saying in here. Nako's saying, I haven't seen any reports on Lonzo moving. Funny how Scotty can have that good of a game with shooting. That's kind of bad. That's, Nako, that's the testament to a certain type of superstar player. That it's not necessarily that they have to be the scorer for them to help them to win the game. And, there's other guys I can think of in the past. I think Magic's the one that stands out the most in my head because there will be games where Magic did not shoot well and play well for the Lakers, and they'd still win. And he would do all the other stuff around it and still win. And that's what that looked like to me last night with Scotty, is that he can shoot 6 for 21 and they'll still win. It's really, really good. Randolph's here. Beloved Raptor Freaks, most informative gang. Don't skip the relevant steps and don't let your quest for perfection get in the way of progress. There you go. Yeah, some people don't start the journey towards something because they don't know when to start. They want, I'll wait or I'll do this. No, just start. Seriously. There's something you want to do. Just get right into it and start learning from it. You may make mistakes at first, but that's like everything. There's a learning curve. But yeah, in some ways, what you're saying, Randolph, is what we got to do with Shamshay. We cannot skip the relevant steps, the important steps for developing him. So as much as some people want to see him right away up on the big club, we need to do this correctly. Because if we do this correctly, it'll really take the right way for the long term. And that's why patience is really important in the steps that as we bring up young Ulrich. So, yeah. G Sam, thank you, Phil, Randolph, for the blessings and blessings of Phyllis family and all the Raptor Freak families. G saying, if I'm wrong, I apologize, but it came up in my notifications as a done deal as I was on this live, and now I can't find it, which is bizarre. Anyways, go Raptors. Good job, Yak, fighting in the paint. Yeah, I don't see any official on this at all. You may need to check your wire source and see if it's a reliable place to get notifications from. That's right. Orlando's hustle is nice. Yeah, he's a big guy. Like, he's a very big guy. And he gets up and down the court all right. And he puts effort in. That's the other thing I really like about him. Usually guys that are his size, that are in his place in the hierarchy of the NBA, just on almost in it, they can get lazy. They can get a little jaded. They can get a little bit like, I'm not going to work my ass off. I'm the big guy. I do big guy stuff. But not Orlando Robinson. He's getting after it, and he's putting a lot of effort and energy out there. This is one of the things they said in the broadcast last night is that because the roster is mostly healthy, Darko can really kind of like tell the guys you need to go all out because we have so many people on the bench that want to play that are ready to play. If you're not out there giving full energy output and really going all out on the court all the time, I'm going to bench you and put Oshai in. You know what I'm saying? There's stuff like that going on right now. So if you're going to get minutes on the Raptors right now, you better be playing all out because there's a deep roster that he can choose from the pick to play right now. So they all got to play all out. And that's what's going to keep Orlando Robinson on our team. It's him hustling like he did the last two games because he did. For a big guy, he got around really well in the last two games as far as covering ground and coming from the weak side to help. Really, really good stuff. Really, really good stuff. I'm really impressed with his footwork. And even that shot he made last night, that little shot in the lane, that was very measured, and he got his number called, and he confidently took that shot and made it in that situation. Some of the stuff with him and Scott, they're trying to work around, is still a work in progress. It's not totally clean, the synergy with him and the other Raptors, but he's picking it up. And Darko said in the practice interview before the game yesterday that Orlando, he's really happy with how quickly Orlando Robinson has learned our system on the offense and defensive sides. That he does know it. It's just getting used to it and playing within it and takes some practice. And he's getting there. He's getting there. That's why I kind of want to continue with him because he's shown good signs of ability to be very, very helpful and contributing to helping us. So that's what I want to see. In some ways, he's adding something that we've lacked a bit of, that Bruno Fernando could not give us and what we wanted from that position. And well, he's giving it to us. That's why I say Robinson's the dude, Masai. If you want to invest in him for the future, he seems like a right kind of guy to do it. He may be a very, very good deal also for the money. He may just want to be in the league, seriously. And he's a very, very good defensive backup center, is what I'm saying. Let's see. Kaz is saying, Lex, ESPN wants us to give all our players away out of the goodness of our hearts for the U.S. teams. Yeah, Canada's a farm team for the U.S. teams. We are like a middle between the NBA and the G League. We're like a mid team in between. And our team is only just for farming players, building them up. And then when they're good enough, you guys come and snatch them from us. That's something that a lot of people do think down south, that it's like that. The journalists and other people, they're assholes. Well, it ain't like that. Up here, we make the rules through Masai. And Masai is going to show y'all that it ain't like that. Unless the deal's good, we'll make the deal with you then. But otherwise, yeah, don't be thinking like this, USA people, because it ain't like that. The Raptors are a championship organization, and we're going to go get a second championship. Watch. We will. Stargate saying if 21 points, 11 rebounds, 8 assists, damn near a triple-double is a bad night, then I don't know. I say you had a bad night shooting. I had to clarify that. And that is true. He had a bad night shooting last night. From the start of the game, Scotty missed everything. And I was like, yeah, Scotty's having an off night because he cannot make a basket. And he was missing from outside the threes, but he was also missing some of his little mid-range turnarounds and stuff like that he's been doing lately. So he was off. That's an off night, even though he almost was 2 assists shy of a triple-double. I know, that's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But it's just how it is, Stargate. It's just how it is. Fiercely saying, I hope they re-sign Orlando Robinson for another 10 days. We'll find out today. There won't be dilly-dallying. If he's going to get it, he's going to get it. If he doesn't, he doesn't. It could be that he doesn't get it. All right, let me explain this scenario to Raptors fans, just in case, because I don't want them to freak out if Orlando Robinson does not get a second 10-day today. What may happen is this. They've seen him. They gave him a 10-day tryout. They like him. They put a pin in him for later. Just like Jamias Ramsey last year. Jamias Ramsey came in on a 10-day, but he didn't stick around, and everybody's like, well, where did Jamias Ramsey go? Well, he showed up in summer camp, in the training camp at the beginning of the year, didn't he? So it's the kind of thing where they come and circle around and come back to people. Now, it could be that they want to keep the open roster spot that Orlando Robinson's expired 10-day contract opened up today for flexibility in a trade that may be happening very soon. So there could be bookkeeping with the team as far as like what we got to do with movement that may involve the spot that Orlando's in, and that may be why he does not get a second 10-day contract, y'all. We'll just have to see what they're going to do. We got to trust them. And, hopefully he's in still. That's what I'd like. But Bobby and Masai live on the moon. I don't know what they have to do right now with their trading and stuff like that. It could be because of that. There is some sort of bookkeeping that Orlando is not brought back today, just so y'all know. So I don't want anybody to overreact to it and say, oh, well, he's so good. Why would they let him go like this? Well, there may be a real method to the madness, and it may be because they're about to trade Bruce Brown and they got to have an open roster spot because they're getting 2 players in return, something like that. So Blackhawks saying when you have a bad shooting night, it takes 20 to 26 shots and free throws to win. Good shooting night can work on 13 to 18 shots with 50 to 60 field goal efficiency with free throws and be just as effective. Yeah, the Scotty making the free throws is what kind of counterbalances, like Neil's saying here. The fact that he was 8 of 9 at the free throw line, it counterbalances an 8 for 21 shooting from the field. And, he's going to get the point somewhere, somehow. It's just, I'd much rather see him efficiently shoot like around 50% or better. But if he's going to shoot 8 for 21 and almost get a triple double and we still win, that's great too. That's great too. Seriously. So Fiercely saying at the beginning of the season, I had complete faith and optimism as the rookies were extremely competitive and our losses were very close points wise. It was a matter of clicking. Yeah. I mean, I had optimism about it, but there's no guarantees on anything. This league is so fickle. It can be very cruel with injuries for the team, like a crazy amount. It could be very cruel with the schedule makers. It can be very cruel with the referees. So in some ways, there's no guarantees on how your team's going to perform or win. And well, I'm happy that we're seeing the other side of things because in some ways we need this right now to prove that Darko's system works and for the guys to continue to buy into our future that we're creating here in Toronto. So this is very, very important. But yeah, the rookies have been a very, very good, pleasant surprise, and they're a huge reason why we're winning right now. Huge, huge reason why. Fiercely saying our last wins, the predominant factor was defense. Yeah, and the defense is because we're playing like a team. And it really is, this is a new era of Scotty leadership. And it really starts with him. In some ways, it starts with Davion. In some ways, it starts with Scott. Scott sets the tone for the energy, and the other guys have to follow suit. And if Scotty's all around crazy like he has been playing, well, those other guys may be all around crazy doing it like him too. And that's where his kind of defensive leadership can be really OP in allowing the Raptors to win a lot. Because it's like, look, it's real easy for Darko to say, look at Scotty. Scotty's our best player, and he's doing all this. What are you guys doing? Be more like Scotty. He's a really good example. And the all-out effort that he puts on the court every night is something that is a leadership thing. It's rubbing off on the other guys. So it's really, really important. Really, really, really important. The defense has been top-notch. Some of the press are asking them, like, why did your defense get so good all of a sudden? And Darko was kind of insulted by it. It's like, we've been working on our defense this whole season. And actually, we've been getting better with the defense down the download the whole time. It's just we're getting the results now from the hard work of the same things we've been doing all along. It's just that now we're finally getting to see success. Yeah, it's insulting. You're trying to say, oh, we've had a poor defense all season. Well, some of it's been injuries. And some of it's been just not clicking and gelling and communicating right completely either. But yeah, they're doing it now correctly, and you can see it. It works. It works. And don't insult Darko by saying, what did you do all of a sudden? We're doing the same thing. It's just that we're finally getting it to click is what's happening right here. Yeah. Blackhawks saying, if trade happens, we probably lose Orlando Robinson while we work the roster out. That's what I was just saying. Yeah, that could be it. Now, but what I'm saying is he may not get this consecutive 10-day contract. It may be that we clear the air after the trade. Maybe you have to waive somebody who's in the transaction, and that roster spot opens up again, and then boom, he's back again on another 10-day and back in the fold. So don't overreact, Raptors Nation. In some ways, I know we all like Orlando Robinson, and like when we get a new player, and sometimes it seems like they fall through our hands, like Brandon Carlson earlier this season. The Raptors Nation gets toxic and a little negative for no reason. In some ways, I got to remind them once again, you're not the front office, so you don't understand all the different things they're trying to juggle at the same time and why they may do some of the things they do with their roster management. And that's something to keep in mind today on the day when we may not see Orlando Robinson get second 10-day contract. Because in some ways, think about this. They tried him out, and he was successful. He proved what he can do. So what is the point of bringing him back in for another 10 days unless you really need him for that position right now? You can invest in him in a real contract later on at the end of the season after trying out more guys on 10 days. It could be right now. Yeah, we see Orlando Robinson. We like him. And right now, he's the leader for any kind of long-term deal we're going to think about throwing at a player by the end of the year. That's what I'm saying right there. That's right. Fiercely saying, Jakob is so good. Many double-doubles. I'm genuinely happy for him. Lex, why do you think he's having so much success now? I mean, he was with Coach Pop. What has Darko done differently? Well, a lot of it has to do with how he's being used. In some ways, Jakob is the centerpiece, like literally for our team. And he's never, ever really been utilized like that completely on any team ever. His first years in the Raptors, he was a rookie and he was really just trying to learn the league and be developed as a big man and trying to get just like not awkward. And then, he went to San Antonio, and in some ways, the San Antonio system is really oriented around guys like Vassell and Castle and Wembanyama and those kind of guys. But when he was there, the talent level was really low, and it was like a free for all. It was just anybody can go get whatever and do whatever. And like I said in the show yesterday, Popovich was not encouraging those guys to play hard in the last year that Jakob was there, because they were somewhat trying to, angle themselves for Wemby. So in some ways, Yak did not play on a competitive team for the 5 years he was in San Antonio. And in some ways he wasn't pushed in a certain way to get to this level of play like he is right now on the Raptors. And it's partly because Darko's offense emphasizes him so much and he's a hub. And then also on the same end, Darko's encouraging him to do whatever he wants. Like, the thing I've loved about Jakob this year is he's put the ball on the floor and like drove to the basket, which is crazy. When he was a rookie, I never thought he'd ever do something like that successful. It's very awkward and scary that he could just dribble it off his foot or something. But no, he's doing stuff like driving to the basket. He's doing little up and unders. It's really fantastic to see just how much his offense is so confident and grown in so many different ways. It's just shy of making threes, honestly. He's just shy of making threes. So I think it's Darko's encouragement of like telling the players, you guys are Supermen. I love you guys. You're superheroes. You can do whatever you want. And then the fact that he has a more prominent role on our team are those two factors of why this is happening. Stargate saying, if the Raptors go on a 7 or 8 game winning streak, the teeny tankers are going to have a little temper tantrums. They're already having it. We're in the middle of a 4-game win streak, and they don't know what to do themselves. I say this once again. I don't judge people. I judge their behavior. And what I judge is, what do you say? How do you feel about the team? If you say that you love the Raptors and you root for them blindly, whether they win or lose, then I love you, because that's the action that I have. But if you say stuff like the Raptors winning too much are bad for their draft position, I'm going to judge you for that. I'm not going to judge you as a person. I'm not going to judge you as a stanky. I'm going to say, well, that is tank philosophy. And I'm going to judge the words. I'm going to judge the mentality. I'm going to judge the idea of it. I'm not judging people. You could be a Raptors fan that's good, but if you lean towards wanting to do tank stuff, I'm going to judge you for that. And that's what I say to people. Listen, be happy that we're winning. We can be happy that we have an NBA team and that we get a chance to play in the NBA. Let's start with that gratitude at first, Raptors fans. And then, let's be happy that our team is collecting wins right now. And even though some of you losers want to just lose all over the place. It's crazy to me. That's what I'm saying. I'm not judging groups of people. I'm judging what they're saying. And if you come to me and you come to my stream and you say something, I'm going to judge you on what you say. That's all I can judge you on. I can't see who you are. I don't know who you are. I can't judge you in any other way. I can only judge you on what your material and what you're saying is. And well, you say tanking kind of philosophy, I'm going to judge you. That's for damn sure. I am. Kareem saying, on Game Time, the question was asked to Isaiah Thomas about players quitting and the Jimmy situation. Guess who else was at the desk? Laugh out loud. Vince Carter, the awkwardness, TV Gold. That was to our Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Lord Thomas, Zeke, the original president of the Raptors. Oh, I'm sure he smiled real big when he heard that. Yeah, that in some ways that's hilarious that they did that with Vince on the panel up there. That's hilarious. That is gold right there, Kareem. That is TV gold. That is totally. Fiercely saying Draymond and counseling don't match. I have not seen a turnaround after so-called suspension. I think he's actually, what I'm hearing is it is working for him. The thing that they had said was it's not even the counseling. It's like he gets to group with a tribunal. Like he has the owner of the Warriors He has like player personnel people. He has like a group of 8 people that come and Zoom with him every month or so, and they check in with him on his mental health. And it's not all psychiatrists or psychologists. It's also like people from Golden State that are involved in the organization, and they check in with him. He didn't like them at first, but now he likes them. I think partly is because he likes the attention, and he has all these important people that have to come meet with him every month or so. And he just comes in. I'm sure these sessions are very stupid. They're like, "Oh, did you see me in the game the other night?" Or saying dumb stuff. Like, I almost choked that guy, but I didn't. I'm getting better. It's like, I think that he is getting a little bit better. He's more aware of it. That's for sure. He's more self-aware of the violence that he begets sometimes. So he is really trying, I think, to not do it. But I don't know. I haven't watched him that much recently. So I don't know if he's being a good boy, if he's actually is really being a good citizen in the NBA. You're saying he's not? I've heard that this has actually been working a little bit, the counseling and the tribunal that he summons once a month. Yeah. Julius here. Good morning, freaks. Congrats again, Raptors. Yeah, congrats to us. Congrats to you, Jillian. You're a Raptor freak. Congrats to you. How about that? Don't delineate yourself from the Raptors. You're a part of the nation. That's right. Smith saying Jonas is thought to be a backup trade for the Lakers in case nothing else materializes. He might be a backup trade for a lot of different teams, a backup plan for a lot of different teams. Well, let's see who gets to their backup plan. Because I'm pretty sure Jonas Valanciunas will be in another jersey by the end of the season. I think that was the whole design by this deal with Washington, was that he knew this would happen. And, well, I'm more power to him. I love the big Lithuanian, big science. He is a Raptor legend, and I always wish the best for the Valanciunas family. Yeah, so we'll see him tomorrow at least, unless he gets traded during the day tomorrow before we see him. This happened when he got traded from the Raptors. I was like, oh, Jonas is back from his injury. I remember we were about to play the Atlanta Hawks in the championship year, and I was so happy. I was at the store, and I said, yeah, Jonas Valanciunas is coming back to play tonight. And then in the middle of my shift at the store, he gets traded for Marc Gasol. And it's all on the Kensington Variety VIP Club episode. And I'm sad. I'm like, oh, man, Jonas is coming back. But, man, now he's traded to Memphis. And it was just kind of like, oh, man, I'm bummed out about that. But I was also happy at the same time because I knew Gasol coming to the Raptors was going to mean we're going to get a championship. I knew it right then, too. I seriously did. Like, as soon as we traded Jonas for Marc Gasol that day, I was like, we're going to win the championship. And we did. We did. I was right. Let's go. All right, let's see what else you guys are saying. Fiercely saying Scotty's mom must be so proud of him. His maturity and modesty are unparalleled. Yeah, I don't know where he gets that from exactly. It could very well be from his mother. I'm not sure if it's from his father. It could be from mentors and other coaches and parents that have been around him as growing up. Who knows? Maybe Jonathan's mother was very influential on him at times also. It's tough to say. I do know that Scotty has really good leadership in his life, though. He has really good people that have really helped him with his morals and his faith and who he is in this world to be on the right path. So, Scott's just doing things correctly, and he gets it. In some ways, he gets it more than this younger generation does. In certain ways, that some of these younger guys just don't get it. He's getting it. He's getting it like an old school player would, like Larry Bird or Magic Johnson would. And that's awesome to a Raptors fan. You think about that. He gets this league and how to play in this league like Larry Bird or Magic Johnson does from what he's showing right now. And that's way more overpowering than the common everyday kind of NBA superstar like a LaMelo Ball or Jason Tatum in some ways. This dude is different. And that's why we're going to go really far with him as our franchise leader. Really, really good. All right, Nako's got my scout for the day. Nako, I feel like you monopolize this. But you may be the one that's just more very enthusiastic about doing the scout. This guy's name is JoJo Tugler. That sounds a little phrasing. JoJo Tugler. What is this? All right, Joseph Tugler. Joseph Tugler from the Houston Cougars. Okay, so he's a teammate of Jamal Shed's. This would be not a bad combination. 6'8" from Louisiana. Forward. JoJo Tugler. Okay, he went to high school in Houston. Okay, he has two older twin sisters that both played college basketball for Louisiana Monroe also. So he's from Louisiana, Monroe, Louisiana. Okay, let's see what this kid's all about. I'm guessing he's a second round pick. Nako Joseph Tugler. All right, let's go see the tube on JoJo Tugler. Yeah, that's a weird name, man. I don't know. Should we have a guy named Tugler on a team with Dick? I don't know about that. Anyway, I don't know why I made a bad joke right now. I'm sorry. All right. Let's see. Okay, we'll look at his Houston highlights. True freshman. He's a true freshman. So he's a freshman last year. So he's in his second year. Why they're comparing him to Kawhi? Oh wow. He's a 7'6" wingspan. Holy crap. And this guy's friends with Jamal Shed. Okay, this is sounding real good so far. All right, he looks a little bit like Jonathan, about the same body size and hairstyle. Looks a little bit like Jonathan Mobo. Okay, there's the steal. He's coming back the other way. The dude does have an amazing wingspan. He may be only 6'8", but he has a crazy long arms. Wow. Okay, I like this so far. He's really got some hops too. You put that wingspan with the hops, he can dunk it. I don't like this clip because it's shot like an Instagram story. It's very close. I can't see the whole thing, but I see he's a shot blocker. He's a very, very good shot blocker. Like that may be his best trait, is what I'm seeing, is that he is a very good rim protector shot blocker. He's probably a very good lob threat too. I'll bet you Jamal Shed loves throwing the ball to him. I'll bet you he loved throwing the ball to JoJo Tugler. Wow, I like this kid a lot, honestly. This guy, in some ways, I think he's a little duplicitous with Jonathan Mobo, but there's a certain level of shot blocking that's different than what Jonathan's got here. Hey, Shed's actually in the highlights here. I saw Shed throw one of the passes to him. So, wow. Okay, JoJo Tugler, I like him. That wingspan is insane, is what I'm going to say right now. That wingspan is absolutely insane. If he's a second-round pick for the Raptors, I'm all right with it. In some ways, it's a little bit Vision 6'9". It would be a little duplicitous with what we got with Mobo, but this guy looks like he has a longer wingspan and he's got better shot blocking ability than Jonathan. And in some ways, he would maybe be a big guy. Some ways he may not be necessary also because of Shamshay. He may be in that area where Shamshay is going to be inhabiting for our team in the future. Now, is the philosophy of the Raptors to get a lot of these guys, long arm monsters like they did before? Probably not, because they did this already recently. It seems like we're trying to get different roles and different puzzle pieces that fit, like an RJ what he does, a Shed what he does, a Grady he does, Jakob what he does, than having a whole plethora of 6'9" guys with long wingspans like before. Because JoJo Tugler definitely fits that old mold of roster build that Bobby was doing a couple years ago. I don't know. In some ways, it's like I say you can't have enough long arm monsters to defend and rebound, because I did like that look for us to a degree. So maybe we do get him. I don't know. He's a thumbs up for me. I like him. JoJo Tugler, Houston, thumbs up. Great scout of the day. I like him, but he's not a first rounder. I don't think he's a first rounder. I don't know if he's got any offense though outside. That's the other thing. In that highlight, I didn't see any 3-point shots or any even like just inside the 3-point range kind of stuff. It was almost all dunks and everything very close to the basket. That could be a problem for him right there. Smooth saying the two most unlikable teams in the Super Bowl. I'm rooting for a history, three-peat. Go KC. All right. So in some ways, it really is Grady versus Kyle. Grady Dick in Kansas City. That's who I know loves that team. In some ways, I don't like Mahomes. I don't like Kansas City and their success in recent years. I feel like they're annoying because they really are everywhere with their stupid stuff, with the Kels and Taylor Swift shift and the all that kind of stuff. In some ways, I don't like KC because KC is the one that keeps winning. So I'm rooting for the Eagles. I'm with Kyle Lowry and the Philadelphia Eagles because in some ways, I've liked that franchise in the past. I liked it when they let Michael Vick come back and reclaim his career and have some of the most amazing his games in his career when he played for the Eagles. Donovan McNabb, he was a player that I kind of liked at times. LaShawn and Deshaun, when they had that era, LaShawn McCoy, Deshaun Jackson. I'm rooting for Philly. I'm straight up rooting for Philly. I don't like Kansas City because they're a dynasty right now. and I'm anti-dynasty. I know I think Philly's won a Super Bowl at some point in recent years too. So it's like both of them have won in recent years. So it's not like it'd be somebody new. Yeah, I'm rooting for the Eagles. I think I'm rooting for the Eagles. Sorry, Grady. I can't get behind Kansas City. I'm going to root for the Eagles on this one. I've seen the map saying that the only people that are rooting for the Eagles are the people in Pennsylvania, and the only people rooting for the Chiefs are the people in Kansas City and Kansas. And nobody's rooting for either one. They just want somebody said the third choice was an asteroid destroys the earth. Oh, that's funny. Nako's saying second rounder scoring ain't great, but he's long and looks like that he watches Kawhi film. That's interesting that they compare him to Kawhi. To me, he's more like a guy like Montrezl Harrell. Like he's just big. Kawhi's shorter. This guy's bigger. And in some ways, man, his wingspan was really impressive. So, yeah, his scoring's not that good. Yeah, I could tell that. But the defensive ability is really, really good there. He could really be like a defensive stopper. We'll have to see. Wayne saying, morning, Raptor Freaks. My favorite player on our team, Jakob Poeltl, I hope got the chain. He did. He got the chain again last night. This is the second time in the last week. Scotty's gotten 2 chains in the middle, and Yak got sandwiched around him with 2 chains around him. With the chain for last night and the chain for, I believe, the Orlando game is the one that he got before that. So, yeah, it is rightfully in the right place, Wayne. It was around Jakob. Now, the press wanted him to wear it into the press conference after the ceremony. And Jakob said this. He said, the chain is not mine. It belongs to the team. I can't bring it in here. It's like, wait, what? They basically just do a photo op? Darko comes in. Hey, everybody. Yeah. He starts yelling in the locker room. Guess who got the chain tonight? Oh, Jakob. And he gives the chain to Jakob. He puts it on for like 5 minutes, spins it. Hi, Mom. Spins it, and then they take it off of him and they put it back in the box. He can't walk around with it. It should be like Survivor. If you win the chain, you get to wear the Survivor Tribal Council immunity bracelets for the 24 hours while you still got it. So y'all could be wearing it everywhere he goes. He should be like on the plane to Washington today, going through the metal detector at Pearson. Say, what's going on? Why is this going on? He's like, oh, I forgot. I'm wearing the chain underneath my shirt. What is it? And they lit the shirt. He's like, I won the chain last night for the Raptors game. You didn't see it? Oh, shit. Yeah, you're Jakob Poeltl. Yeah, you were rebounding like crazy. Okay, all right, I get it. Will you spin it for me? Yeah, hi, Mom. Zzz. Wouldn't that be funny? Like if the Raptor who won the chain had to wear the chain the whole time until the chain went to somebody else? I guess during the game that wouldn't work. I think they should be able to carry it and walk around with it, although somebody might lose it. That might be a problem. This was a big problem in wrestling. The wrestlers that are champions, they have to carry their belts with them. And that $1 million belt that Ted DiBiase had back in the day, the one with all the diamonds in it, that belt was worth $35,000. And he was walking around with it all the time. People could just steal that shit. So they often had the champions in wrestling had to put a deposit on their championship belt that they had to carry with them. And it was very much like, you had to watch out. Somebody's jacked that belt from you, man. That's a big bunch of money. Maybe that's why they're not giving the chain to nobody. That chain's worth some money. And we don't want nobody jacking the chain from Jakob Poeltl. That's right. That's right. But I think it would be cool if like Jakob was wearing the chain everywhere he went after he won it. If they did that. But no, they put it back in the box. And Yak said, it's not my chain. It's the team's chain. It was your chain last night, my guy. It was your chain last night. That's right. That's right. Fiercely saying, man, CJ McCollum's starting to fall off. Very bad shots and missing layups. Grand Theft Alvarado not as feisty and impactful as usual. Honestly, Zion was the only threat on the court. Real bulldozer. Yeah, CJ's annoying. It's kind of interesting to see how chummy Tony Brothers is with different people on the team before the game. Tony Brothers looked extra crusty, but then also very smiley and happy. I saw him give a huge, huge hug to Bruce Brown, and they joked and laughed around like they've known each other for decades, which is kind of cool to see Tony Brothers, the human side of him, palling around with different NBA players. Of course, him and CJ McCollum have roles for their respective unions that they get involved in. Tony Brothers is like a union rep for the refs, and CJ McCollum is a union rep for the players. So there's a little bit of interaction there that's a lot more different between those two guys in particular. CJ's CJ, man. He is getting older. He is kind of an annoying guy. He did hit some shots last night that were key. I noticed what you're saying about Alvarado. The thing about Alvarado, though, is two things. Alvarado has not been back from injury for very long, so he may be coming back into his energy and trying to play better. He's not totally back completely. And then the other thing is he had Mitchell last night. And, Davion Mitchell is a formidable opponent for a feisty little quick guard like Alvarado, that he may not be as effective because Mitchell is just as good at being quick and running around with him. So that was part of it right there, that you're saying that Alvarado wasn't as feisty. Well, he was matched up with Mitchell and Shed, and those two guys are going to be a good counterbalance for him to not be as effective. In some ways, that's a signature move of Grand Theft Alvarado, is to infiltrate and steal an inbounds pass. But Davion's too savvy. He's too smart. He knows his tricks. He's played them many times. He's like, yeah, I'm not falling for your shit, Jose. I will get this ball, and you will not be able to steal it. So in some ways, Alvarado wasn't even trying to do his signature move because he knows Mitchell is too savvy to fall for it. So yeah, there's a little bit of that in there. Yeah, be loved. That's right. Let's look at the Pelicans for a second. I'm gonna give them some flowers a little bit. Of course, Zion was extremely good with 31 points on 13 to 18 shooting. CJ was 22 points on 9 of 21 shooting. He didn't shoot as well, but he was a factor. He was a minus 16 also, the worst plus minus, actually the second worst. Alvarado was a minus 20. 21 points for DeJounte Murray, who just came back recently, and he actually didn't look horrible out there. He was actually very helpful to them at times with 21 points. He did shoot 5 of 17, though, but he had 7 rebounds and 8 assists, too. Trey Murphy back in action there also, but there were 4 guys in double digits and barely any points for them otherwise. 16 points other than those 4 guys that got double digits. That's anemic scoring, and that's been an issue for the Pelicans all season. They have not had the ability to put points on the board, and they've been getting outscored by everybody. The team stats were fantastic. They shot just a little bit better than us, but we got 11 more shots because of offensive rebounds like Jakob Poeltl's. The three-pointers were great. They took 28 threes and only made 6. So they had a really hard time at the three-point line. In fact, if they had shot better at 3, they may have won this game last night. We were very lucky that they were a very poor three-point shooting team. If they were a bit better of a three-point shooting team, we might have been in trouble last night. Might have been in trouble. We shot 27% from 3 with 9 of 33. The free throw line, we outshot them there, 78% to 67%. They were 20 of 30, and we were 18 of 23. So they did get more free throw shots. The refs were screwy. Darko did an early challenge, and he lost. That's the way that Tony Brothers described that, the timing of Grady hitting the Pelicans player on the arm, it was before the elbow to Grady's face. That was bullshit. That was absolute bullshit. And the broadcast crew was right when they were saying, yeah, that's bullshit. But in some ways, that's what I'm saying. The NBA will make up any reasoning for their rulings on challenges. They can just make up whatever they want. It's like a police officer writing a police report. They'll make up whatever they want to cover up whatever they need to do for whatever means they need to do. So in some ways, once again, Darko had an early challenge in the game, and he lost the challenge, and he lost his ability to challenge, and that mattered later. There were times later in the game where he could have called challenge and got stuff reversed. So this shit does matter. But in some ways, it was a right challenge call, but they got railroaded by Tony Brothers with semantics, saying, well, Grady actually hit him on the arm before he got elbowed in the face. The refs were pretty rough at times last night, but this is the thing. They pissed both teams off. Obviously, Willie Green got thrown out. In the middle of the game, Willie Green absolutely freaked out on Nick Booker, and he really freaked out on him. He wasn't even yelling at Tony Brothers or Fennessy. He was just yelling at Nick Booker, just specifically, and he went off. He got thrown out. He did that on purpose, though. Willie Green did that to try and fire up his Pelicans to try and win after he left. James Borrego taking over afterwards. But it backfired. It never worked. So obviously the Pelicans weren't happy with the whistle, and we weren't either. Scotty, very emphatic at times on the court, mad at Tony Brothers for some of the calls that he was making out there. But in some ways, just playing through it, making his case, yelling when he's getting hit on the arm, doing different things on the court to make sure things are happening. He's getting more and more respect. He is getting more calls. But, in some ways, both sides were pissed at the refs. That means they did a good job. The Raptors were pissed at the refs. I was pissed at the refs at certain times last night but so was Willie Green, obviously. So that can't be too bad. We out-rebounded them by 8, which was fantastic, including 13 offensive rebounds, which got us a lot of points, honestly. 31 assists. Once again, we hit that 30 assist mark, which we are so happy to see. They beat us on stocks. They got 20 stocks, and we only had 13. Turnovers were even at 13, and that's fantastic. In some ways, that is an acceptable number of turnovers. 13 is acceptable. Anything close to 20 is not. That's something we're going to be paying attention to. Points in the paint, we beat them by 6, 64-58. So, yeah, a pretty good all-around effort by the Raptors. A team effort versus a team that doesn't play like a team. And that's the biggest problem with the Pelicans right now. They don't play like a team. They just don't. Fiercely saying, oops, I even forgot about DeJounte Murray. Was he even playing? He was. He was actually one of the better Pelicans last night. I would say Zion was the best, and DeJounte might have been like the second or third best Pelican last night. Mo's here. Good to see Monique. She went to the game last night. Good morning, Raptor Free crew. What a win streak. What a week it's been. What a time. Let's go. Stars of the game. Chris, and more Chris. Kidding. She just wanted to be Chris. Boucher. She's the same Boucher like Matt Devlin. Kidding. Jakob, Scotty, and the whole team. Keep it up, Darko. There you go. Thank you, Mo, for going down the game and bringing that team spirit like the Superfan does and capturing the W down there. I love you, and thank you so much for being such a great spirit in our fan nation. And fantastic job last night. Let's go get the next win, a 5th win against the Wizards tomorrow. I'm all about it. Fiercely saying, Zion very effective in the paint. I must give him that. But jumpers and three-pointers, he's not all that. He's such a weird player, man. In some world, in some alternate reality, Zion Williamson is not such a fuck up. And he's actually playing all the time. And he's like, if he had Scotty's mentality, this is the thing. This is a great example. If Zion Williamson has Scotty's mentality, he would be so much better in this league. He may be the best player in this league. That's the crazy thing. You can have supremely good talent that is wasted because you're not disciplined. You don't care enough. You don't do things to take care of your body. And that specifically is the problem with Zion Williamson. He's not taking care of himself correctly. Just imagine if he did. Who would he be in this league? What could he be capable of? But nah, he eats poorly. He's out of shape, and he's not available for as many games as he should have. It's a what could have been. In some ways, Kawhi Leonard is a what could have been. You think about Kawhi, and you're like, man, what could have been with Kawhi? Well, Zion Williamson is the same damn thing. What could have been with him? You don't want to have a career like that where you're just like, oh, what could have been? No, you want to be a player like Larry Bird or Magic Johnson or Scotty Barnes, and you are doing what could have been because you're doing it to your fullest potential. Zion Williamson, we will never know because that guy's never going to get it. If he ain't got it by now, he ain't going to get it. Trust me, he ain't going to get it. And Kawhi, well, what could have been? What could have been with Kawhi? How many championships could Kawhi have won if he had stayed healthy and played at a high level for his whole entire career like LeBron James? Who knows? We'll never know. That's just how it is. Never know. Nako saying Zion is a freak of nature like Braun or Wemby. Yeah, in some ways, I get that. I get that. I mean, he's a very interesting athletic talent that is not very common. Let's just put it that way. Wayne saying, all good things come through Yak. I will repeat, don't want to hear no yapping about trading on that man's name. This is not hype. Our team, whether rebuilding or not, is a team worthy to be top 9. Completely agree with Sergeant Wayne Strainer. I am totally with winning at all costs and trying to win and doing the best that we can, even in a year when we're supposed to be nothing this year. I still want to do something. That's right. Smooth saying New Orleans is a weird, disjointed team. Yeah, it's sad. And Jack's right with what he said in the broadcast. If they had been healthy and gotten things going the right way, they may have been like Memphis or Minnesota. And some of these teams that are higher up in the Western Conference, they were supposed to. They look like they should be like that on paper. When you look at their team and their roster, you look at them, they should be way better than they are this year, but they're not. And some problems is the team's just not connecting. It's just not connecting. There's some weird shit with that team. They're a weird team, man. Their record is their record. Trevor's saying Yak passes like a point guard. Yeah, and some of the point passes that he's been making are so pinpoint and through traffic and really reflexive. Like, it's crazy. Like, some of the give and goes that they do, he has no chance to think about whether he should make that pass or not. He's just instinctually going, I got to go. Boom, there's RJ. He's going to the basket. I got to pass it right away. So if he had even just an inkling of doubt or moment to pause to think, he wouldn't get that pass through there. So it's really, really good stuff. It's really, really smart. And I'm enjoying watching the offense that comes off of Jakob, whether he's scoring or he's the person passing. It's been fantastic. It's a lot of fun to watch. Watching our offense under Darko has been such a pleasure. Such a pleasure. Stargate saying the Pels have too many ball hog type players. Hunter thinks he is in the second coming of Kyrie Irving with all the handles. McCollum plays no defense. It can only shoot. Zion won't get him in shape. Hunter. Who's Hunter? Who's Hunter? Who's Hunter? I don't know. You may wrote the wrong name in. Yeah, I could get behind this. There's maybe just not the right fit with personnel. I think that the Pelicans may be the kind of team that just drafted and acquired players on talent and not really fit. And they've gotten a lot of players because of talent reasons, but in some ways the talent is not gelling and it's not making sense. I think that in some ways the asset of Brandon Ingram is a problem on this team because he's such a high paid player, but he's not a leader on this team. In some ways, you got like the example of Scotty or Emmanuel being leaders as high paid players, but Brandon Ingram's not stepping up and trying to do that for that team. As a longtime NBA player who makes a lot of money on that team, he's just wearing his dress clothes and sitting on the bench and just watching. So that's part of the problem right there. This team doesn't have leadership. And in some ways, it's just a collection of weirdness, is really what it is. Stargate saying they didn't even have Ingram, who's another ball hog. Yeah, yeah. I like Ingram though. I don't think he is definitely. They're all. Yeah, I think you're right with what your comment is saying here, Stargate. That this team has too many ball dominant players, and DeJounte, it was that part of the problem in Atlanta that got him to New Orleans right now. Smooth saying New Orleans has made it a priority to trade Brandon Ingram. He's asking for a max level contract. Well, good luck with that. They probably do need to do that. That's for sure. I remember there was a time when I wanted Ingram on the Raptors. He had such potential. Wow. I may still be into it, but not really with our present build and what we've got going on. I really don't want to mess the chemistry up that we got right now. And I feel like he would be risky to do that. He would be risky to do that. But there was a point in time where I was like, yeah, I'd love to see him in a Raptors jersey. But at this point, I think that ship sailed, and I have more questions about his fit with chemistry and his attitude than I feel like is worth trying to explore whether he'd be good on our team. So that's kind of how I feel about it. Sure Khan's here. Good morning, Raptor Freak family. What a day. What a day. No matter what the record is at the end of the day, but one thing is for sure, this team is developing the way a rebuilding team is supposed to. Maybe even better. Hashtag win. I don't know how you do it even better, but that's fantastic, Shirkan. I'm going to give you a dunk for showing up today and having such a positive attitude. I agree with you, man. In some ways, that's part of the thing. Like, the struggles of earlier this season were part of the struggles of being a rebuilding team, but that doesn't mean we need to stay there for long. We can actually go ahead and start getting better and better now. And it may not be winning like at 500. It may be winning at 400 for a little while, maybe winning at 500, and then all of a sudden we're winning at 700. And that's what we need to strive for is just elevating and getting better and better and better. And Shirkan's exactly right. This team is developing this team the right way in the rebuild. We're doing it the right way, and it's fantastic. It's a joy to watch, honestly, because the success is already coming. Smooth saying NBA rigged it so Wemby would be a Spur. There was no way they would let him be in Houston. Yeah. I won't disagree with that. They probably had an invisible hand trying to help guide Wembanyama to the San Antonio Spurs. Stank Nation could shut up even more now. That's right, Mo. That's right. That's right. Stank Nation, you keep your tanking mentality out of here. Get your garbage out of here. That's right. Smooth saying they were already connections with him and Parker from France. Yeah. Yeah, of course. That, Boris Diaw. Yeah. And once again, Victor is a commodity the NBA wants to make a lot of money off in the future, in the next decade or so. And they don't want to drop the ball with him being misdeveloped and messed up by a poor development team like the Rockets at times. The Rockets are doing better now. They've done better in the last year or so since MA showed up. But before that, the Rockets were a wasteland where guys just weren't getting traction with their careers, and it could be very scary. They let a commodity like Victor Wembanyama play for their franchise, and they drop the ball, and he doesn't become fully what he should be. That's lost revenue for the NBA. So you can see the very financial reason why they would direct Victor Wembanyama to the Spurs franchise over the Rockets franchise. Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. That's right. Let's see. And Smooth saying the NBA's already rigged it for Utah this year, in my opinion. If they do, that's fine with me. In some ways, I don't get upset about that kind of stuff. In some ways, you know what? The weird world of karma and balancing out is if they're going to hand stuff to people, they're going to have more detriments in other ways, somehow, some way hidden. And likewise, in the reverse for us, they're going to give us gauntlets like a horrible schedule. They're going to make it harder on the only Canadian team in the NBA. Well, there's a soul kind of karmic force that evens it out, and we get some favors and weird stuff that happen like in amazing gifts in some ways. Does that make sense? This happens in the world. There's is some sort of weird balance to the world. And well, they're going to favor teams in some ways. Sometimes when they favor teams, it actually hurts them because that favoritism comes back in a bad way karmically. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Slug Deezy saying, how do you feel about Leo not wanting the Raptors to win too many games? Did Leo say that on the broadcast last night? I don't see Leo very much because I'm watching the NBA League Pass feeds and they don't show the studio stuff. Did Leo literally say he doesn't like that the Raptors will win too many games? Leo, don't be in Stank Nation. Don't be a stanky. Come on, Leo. You're better than this. You were a competitor. Come on, kid from Kiel. You shouldn't be all upset the Raptors are winning too much. Come on now. Come on now. I don't like that. If he said that, I'm anti it. Leo, don't say stuff like that on the broadcast. Seriously. We can allow the Raptors to get whatever pick. We're going to be fine. Jacoby Walter, 19. That's what I'm saying. Smith saying 25 to 30 W's still gets the Raptors a top 10 pick, which is all they need, in my opinion. See, I like the way Reggie's thinking. I'm with him on that. So if we can get in that area that I want to be in with like 26 wins at the bottom, when we can still get a top 10 pick, hey, what's not to like? Seriously, this draft's going to be good all the way through the first half of the first round. Watch. It will be. It will be. I feel it. Jill saying Raps above Nets in standings now. Yeehaw. Yeah, we're not at the bottom of the Atlantic Division. We are above the Nets half a game. They have one more loss than us. They have 33 losses. We have 32. We both have 14 wins. So we are officially out of the cellar in the Atlantic Division, and we are actually fourth from the bottom in the Eastern Conference because we've leapfrogged the Charlotte Hornets and the Nets, and we're above Washington also. So, yeah, we're not at the bottom anymore. We're trending upwards, and we're one of the hottest teams in the NBA right now. So let's go with it. Let's not be mad about it. That's right. Kaz is saying top 10 pick is good enough for me. I want Common anyway. That's what I'm saying. Let's fuck around, get some wins, and still get Common Mulak from the Duke Blue Devils and get another center prospect. What's not to like about that? I love it. I love it. I love it. That's right. Kareem's saying, I wish Bruce Brown sounded like the way he dressed. Some deep Southern twang drawl would be perfect. Interview at halftime with Kayla Gray. Yeah, but Bruce is wanting to show that city slickers can be cowpokes. And that's his whole message. It's like, hey, I can be from Boston, one of the whitest cities in America, and I'll be a cowboy. That's right. I'm a cowboy. I'm a cowboy on a steel horse I ride. That's right, Bruce Brown. You're going to be a cowboy no matter what. It doesn't matter if he's from the city of Boston. He's like, in some ways he's like Metro Cowboy, like metrosexual. He's like, I'm Metro Cowboy. It's like, yeah, I just love it. Are you a cosplaying cowboy? Is that what you are, Bruce Brown? Do you actually go out to the dude ranch? Do you rustle up some steer? Do you capture some tumbleweed? Come on now. Come on. Tell me the truth. Are you just a play acting that you're a cowboy? Do you just listen to Morgan Wallen so you say that you're a cowboy? Is that what it is? Or are you actually out there rustling and getting the cattle rustled up? I mean, this is saying he's like he's cosplaying. I don't know. He doesn't have that voice though. I know what you're talking about. Howdy, partner. Howdy, partner. You old cowpokes there, city slicker, Seymour Pape out here in the prairie country. We got to go rustle up some steer. Come on now. You gotta say, laugh my ass off. I could care less about football. Yeah, me too. I only opined on it because it's like, well, Lex, who would you root for in this? I'm gonna root for the Eagles. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to root for the Eagles because of the growth, because I love Kyle Lowry, and I want Kyle Lowry to be happy because his Eagles won. So I'll root for the Eagles. That's why. I'll root for them. That's right. Blackhawks saying KC needs to win it to get a three-peat over with. They can lose every year after that. Yeah, whatever. I don't like three-peats. That's boring. And NFL, you're annoying because you have the same Super Bowl champions for 3 years in a row. That's annoying. That's BS. Do the Chiefs deserve all that? Probably not. My good friend from grad school, my Mexican roommate, Carlos Diaz, he's probably loving it. He's a huge Chiefs fan. So all the Chiefs' success, he's very happy about. Very, very happy about. That's right. He's from Monterrey, Mexico. And his favorite team was the Kansas City Chiefs. And he was always talking about the Chiefs. That's right. Nins is saying, good morning, Lex and crew. My Raps and Eagles been making my January a lot more interesting. There you go. Nins is Eagles Nation. So there you go. Fly, Eagles, fly. Let's fly to a Super Bowl championship very soon. Let's go, Philly. That's right. Let's go, Big Earn. I'm rooting for Big Earn's team, too. My buddy Ernie Lang down in Florida, Tallahassee. My big friend. He's like 6'9". Big friend. Big Earn. Big Earn. Hey, Lex. Hey, Lex, the Eagles going to win the Super Bowl this year. Okay, Ernie. I believe you. I'm going to believe you because you're almost 7 feet tall, and I don't want to piss you off. Eagles Nation. Let's go. Let's go. Fiercely saying, I don't have the updated info, but as of late yesterday, all of the Philly sports teams had congratulated the Eagles on heading to the finals, except the Sixers. Womp womp. Oh, Nick Nurse, Debbie Downer. Butthole face, what are you doing? You better congratulate them. Don't be sore losers, Joel, Dummy, and Embiid, that y'all suck, and you're all down there. Maybe we're going to pass y'all in the standings soon. Let's beat Nick. Let's beat Nick. Let's beat Nick. Let's beat Nick. Yeah, good luck with those guys, Nick. And we're going to say, hi, we're coming to see you in the standings, and we're going to pass you in the standings. I would love that. I would love that. That'd be awesome. Blackout saying 76ers are haters anyway. Yeah, I don't know. They probably done it by now. Nako saying the Kawhi comparison for me comes from that sturdy handle and defensive chops. Talking about JoJo Tugler. I don't know. I don't see a fleshed out enough two-way game for the Kawhi comparisons. Scotty Barnes could get Kawhi comparisons because he's a full-fledged two-way. But if this guy has no shot, he has no offense, he's not a Kawhi. You can't make this comparison without the two-way component. So I can't agree with this Kawhi comparison. Maybe the wingspan, maybe giant hands, but that is not enough to get a Kawhi comparison that is right. In some ways, you can't just bandy these around like they're candy. Nako, you are like Kawhi. When I say Scotty is like Kawhi, I say that with very, very deep intentional thought of thinking about this very deeply. It's not something I just came across like really quickly and say, oh, yeah, he's just like Kawhi. No, if I'm going to say that, it has to stick and it has to make sense. And I said that in his rookie year because I saw the future. I'm not going to say this about Tugler because in some ways, he doesn't have the offense, and you admitted yourself that he doesn't. Smooth saying, didn't Pittsburgh win 4 straight in the 70s? Yeah, there's been like teams that have won dynasties in the NFL. Didn't the Cowboys do it too? Sometime around with Irvin and Troy Aikman and Emmitt Smith. Weren't they winning like a bunch in a row at that point too? I mean, the Packers, didn't they have like a dynasty at some point in their history? Most saying, hey, Lex, I might go to the first ever fan day if I get lucky. Oh, that's this weekend, right? It's on the 1st. So, yeah, they're having the first ever fan day, and supposedly it's an event where you can meet the Raptors and some of the coaches. I don't know. I have no idea what this event is like. I'm really in hibernation mode. I should get down and do more events around the Raptors, especially since it's the 30th anniversary and there's so much going on with jersey retirements and things like that. Why won't you go to the fan day, Lex? Because it's hibernation mode. I'm out in the country in the woods in the winter, and I don't feel like going nowhere. But Mo, if you go, definitely report and tell us what the first ever Raptors fan day is like. I hope you do go. I hope you are lucky. That's right. Kareem saying Kansas City is in the AFC West divisions with my Broncos. So fuck the Chiefs. Fuck Taylor Swift. Fuck Kelsey. And fuck Mahomes. Bitch sounds like Kermit the Frog. That's just like unnecessary haterade right there. That is just unnecessary haterade. But I'm gonna reward it. I'm gonna reward it because it's so ridiculously hater. She sounds like Kermit the Frog. Are you saying Taylor Swift sounds like Kermit the Frog? Or are you saying Patrick Mahomes sounds like Kermit the Frog? I think you're saying Patrick does. Either way, it's hilarious. 18 points for Kareem on the dunk charts there. Hi-ho, Kermit the Frog here. Oh. Guys say not 4 straight, Smooth. 74, 75 plus 78 and 79. 4 straight. 4 straight. That's the Pittsburgh Steelers in the 70s. 74, 75, 78, 79. So there was 2 and 2 and then 2 and 2. Okay, so it was a back-to-back and then a back-to-back. So they didn't get 4. Okay. Just got my 11 o'clock drink water. All right, let's see. Yeah, it's 11:24, and I'm 6 minutes away from 2 hours. I needed these water breaks with Jill being here. Seriously, honestly, I've had a sore throat, so this is like she's really helping me. Kaz wants a classic card. We'll do that. We'll do that very soon. Smooth saying thanks. Go KC. Mo saying W stream, W vibes. Go Raptors for life. Keep at it always, Lex. Raptor Freak crew family strong forever. Let's keep it good and better. That's right. Life's getting better, right? Mo, you keep going, man. I want to see what you're doing with that interview. I don't know what you're dropping a little hint on something you're doing. I want to know. I'm gonna find out. We're gonna find out what Monique's been up to. That's right. Cass saying no problem. Smooth saying I just like the Eagles. I can't stand them. So you're going for the Chiefs. That's all right. You go on with Grady Nation and get on that. I bet you Oshai roots for the Chiefs too. A couple of Kansas guys rooting for Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah, it's fine. I'm no horse in this race. I just declared my allegiance because of Kyle Lowry. That's all. It's exactly because of Kyle Lowry. That's right. Kaz saying, yeah, let's talk about that elbow to Grady. I forgot. How the fuck was that not a foul on DeJounte? Because Tony Brothers didn't want it to be. Because the replay center had 5 referees in there, and who knows which one actually adjudicated on this. I have no idea. I was looking at who was in the replay center to try and get a feel of who was in there and maybe find it out. But there were so many games yesterday that they had 5 different refs sitting at the replay center. So we have no idea which one of those 5 refs was the one who actually looked at our game in that situation. Could have been Natalie Sago. It could have been a whole list of different ones that were in there. Who knows? But yeah, it's all, once again, the way they want to like support it with whatever reasoning. And well, Tony's saying that Grady hit him on the arm before he got elbowed in the face. And that's what it is. Smooth saying KC isn't that far behind. They're lesser of 2 evils for me, at least. Yeah, nobody likes these teams. I get it. In some ways, I don't care. So it's easy for me to throw support behind the Eagles because I don't have any animosity towards them like Giants fans or Cowboys fans do. You know, a lot of people don't like different teams because of the rivalries with their favorite teams. And, you know, I get it. I get that. I mean, Bills fans may be rooting for the Eagles right now just because they're all salty and mad at the Chiefs for putting them out. So that could be part of it right there. That Jillian saying, had no idea Yuta's back in Japan. Great luck to him. Such a nice guy. Yeah, he finished his NBA career like last year. He didn't play in the NBA last year either. And so he's been back in Japan for a bit. And yeah, he's doing all right. We love Yuta. He'll always be a Raptors legend. Jill saying, Lex, if Pelicans had better at threes, Raps would have gotten around them. Look at how well we did with the Hawks. I don't know, Jill. It's a different thing because in some ways the Pelicans had some strength behind Zion. Zion was an undeniable force that could score. And if you mix that in with a reliable 3-point shooting from CJ and DeJounte and Trey Murphy, that could have been a real problem last night. But thankfully, they did not shoot real good threes. Yeah, that could have been a problem. Seriously. I mean, we could say this, but we don't know for sure. We don't know for sure. It's good that they did not shoot well at 3 last night. That helped us win. Reggie saying, hang on, it jumped ahead. I know the Taylor Swift stuff is irritating, but the way KC just turns it on and Mahomes is just so clutch, like MJ. Yeah, I don't know in the games. I don't watch them. I know Patrick Mahomes is a kind of that guy like Tom Brady was a couple years ago, collecting wins and his team and carrying them and stuff like that. But, you know, I also think he sounds like he's an annoying guy, too. I don't know. Stargate saying, I meant DeJounte Murray. Don't know who Hunter is in there. DeJounte thinks he's Kyrie. Okay, you might have got him confused with DeAndre Hunter. DeJounte Murray, DeAndre Hunter, and DeAndre still with the Hawks. That could have been how you did that. Yeah, I could see that comparison. So you think that DeJounte Murray's trying to be like Kyrie Irving? I could see that. I could see him trying to play like that. You know, he's not a horrible player as far as steals. He's a very good stealer. Jill's saying, yes, Lex, Matt's basketball gods often allow us to get some breaks. Well, once again, Jill, I want to remind you just personally, because in the chat, sometimes I see you overly freak out when the game is going through different runs. It's a game of runs. Don't freak out so much when turnovers are happening. You don't have to type in, oh, no, another turnover in the chat during the game, because in some ways, you don't want to snowball into avalanche of negative energy because you keep typing that. So just stop. Sometimes it's like the philosophy saying you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. If you're freaking out while the Raptors seem like they're falling apart on screen because they're causing too many turnovers and the team's coming back and eating up a 16-point lead that we had. Don't freak out like this. It's just like you're panicking. And in some ways, in the chat, it's really annoying. I'm not going to lie, because I'm trying to keep a good, steady, confident vibe in there. And you come in with a very unconfident vibe where you're like, oh no, turnover, all this stuff. Please just don't do that. You could do it at home to yourself, but don't send that stuff to us, because I want to keep a winning, confident vibe. And well, I have to kind of fight your energy that's not confident in the chat. And I don't like that. I'd rather you just not say anything than come in and just announce every turnover that we're making during a bad stretch of the game. Because in some ways it's just not useful. And in some ways it's kind of building bad energy in the chat. I know it may not matter. In some ways I feel energy, and I feel energy around the world. It could matter though. In some ways, I don't know. On some level it could. Let's see. Nameless is saying Grady leading the way with most completed threes. A glimpse of what's to come from this young Umo. You know, I like Grady, what he's doing. In some ways, he stepped back a little bit in his role on the team since the beginning of the season. He's not scoring as much. We're not utilizing and keying him as much, but that doesn't matter because he's still in his development journey as a young player. And in some ways, there are going to be points in his career that are like this, where he's not such a focal point, and he needs to find his spots in his production without being so focally utilized. And he's doing that. And that's the thing I like. There's a basket last night that he made that was absolutely important momentum maker for us to get our offense going again. And he just was very calm and nonchalant about it. The other thing about him is he's a very confident player. And if the Raptors miss like 10 shots in a row, I still have confidence that Grady's taking an open shot. He's going to make it. In some ways, it can be infectious when you're missing a lot as a team, but Grady is the antidote. He's the antidote. If we're missing a lot as a team, we'll let Grady get the ball at some point. He'll make something happen, and he'll get our scoring started again. And that's something I really like. Name was saying, in my opinion, this is the most talented version of the Raptors ever. Ever. Man, that's a lofty proclamation. I don't know if I can get behind it completely, Nameless. I think that the championship team in some ways was the most talented version of the Raptors ever. And that's shown in the results. I don't know. I mean, I won't say that it's the one of the least talented. I won't say that. Who knows? Maybe it's in the top 10 of all the 30 years of the Raptors franchises, that maybe that this is one of the top 10 rosters for a year out of the 30 years. I'll give them that, but I don't know if I can say the most ever. Even the year after we won the championship with Kawhi left, that team was super talented with Serge Ibaka and Marc Gasol still around. So let's see. Stargate saying Queen is better for the Raptors in Darko's system than Common. If you're looking for a center that can pass and run plays through, Queen is a better than that, in my honest opinion, like Jakob. I did like Queen the best. I think that the biggest difference between Malak and Queen is that Queen is actually a flex power forward 5. He's not totally a real center, and that he could probably be slotted in at that power forward a lot with people like Jakob. Whereas Malak probably will have to play 5, and he's not as flexible with playing the 4. So that in some ways is attractive to me about Queen instead of Malak. So I can get behind this. I really liked Queen. In fact, he may be the one player that I like the most so far that we scouted. Seriously, I really, really liked Queen. Kaz saying Queen can't shoot as far as I know, so no thanks. Tired of having non-shooting centers. I saw him making threes in the highlight that we looked at. The way that he looked to me was he looked like OG, but like with a bigger, stronger upper body already, which is crazy to me. Like he reminded me a lot of OG. Queen, like as far as like defensive things and even like his all-round ability. He's very, very quick and getting around. And that kind of size of a player being very nimble and running around, that is really, really valuable. That's Scotty Barnes. That's what I'm saying. It could be that Queen could develop a shot. And that's the same thing they said about Scott, that he couldn't shoot either. Ninja saying, I will 100% be attending the Raptors versus Sixers game in Philly in my number 4 jersey. I love that. So you must live stateside, Nins. Are you living in Pennsylvania? And that's why you're an Eagles fan? And that's why you'll be going to the Raptors game in Philadelphia that's coming up very soon? Awesome. I love you'll be rocking the number 4 in Philadelphia. Of course, I'm wearing Sky's jersey again on a day like today. He's the player of the week, and I got to celebrate that. Stargate saying, at last, that's the one thing that Khan is a little bit better at, but not much better. It depends on what the system requires to be successful. We may not need a shooting type center. Yeah, we'll have to see. Once again, we don't know better than Bobby Masai, but looking at things, I like Queen and Malak both. Like if we drafted either one of them, I'd be happy. I'd be happy. You know, they may be apples to oranges in some ways, and maybe one of them is more preferred by our front office. Name is saying Grady is going to be absolutely punishing teams from behind the arc for the next 12 years on levels we have not seen in Toronto before. Yeah, he's really dialed in. He's amazing. And I love Battle coming up underneath him because he's the same kind of player. Stargate saying the game is slowly changing back to traditional type. To Terse, if you haven't noticed, that's kind of interesting because in some ways we're ahead of the curve then because we are playing an old school style of offense that's team oriented with a lot of passing and cuts. And in some ways, if that's the trend and we're ahead of the curve, well, maybe we're going to be finding success in the newer NBA reverting back to more traditional kind of stuff. I think that this is true. I think that Adam Silver has raised the alarm recently publicly, saying that he does see the concern with over importance of the 3-point shot and that the rules will be finagled and changed in ways that will make it more like the traditional NBA that we've enjoyed over decades and decades, more and more. And if the Raptors are already playing that style of kind of play in the system under Darko, we may be ahead in some ways than some of the teams are right now that are so stuck on threes. We'll have to see how the adjustments happen and see how it works with everything. It's a very, very interesting thing that we're talking about right there because it could be that we are an advantage. This brother is lethal. Talking about Grady. Stargate saying, can Queen shoot? I don't know. He looked pretty good. His form didn't look bad from what I saw in the highlight, from what I remember. Let's see. Laughing out loud at Jordan versus Grady. Okay. This is something on the download that I talked about in the chat last night because this is where I disagreed with Bobby and Masai 2 years ago. When we were doing the draft where we drafted Grady, I wanted them to pick Jordan Hawkins. Yeah, he was my favorite pick. He was my number one pick that I wanted the Raptors to target. And well, we saw Hawkins versus Dick kind of battle last night because in some ways that's who I may gauge Grady against for his career is Jordan Hawkins, is because of my preference for him at the draft. Well, Bobby Masai went and picked Grady instead, and I'm glad they did. I'm not an egotistical fan that gets mad because the front office didn't do what I wanted. I accept it, and in some ways, I'm very happy they did it because it looks like Grady is a fantastic player. But Jordan versus Grady is a matchup that I'm going to look at for the years to come. Jordan Hawkins got out there for 3 of 7 shooting, 1 of 3 from 3, 1 rebound, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 turnover, 7 points in 21 minutes on +4 shooting. Grady got 2 less minutes than him out there, took 1 more shot than him, but scored 3 more points. So, yeah, I think Grady won that matchup. Grady got the line more than him, got 3 free throws. He got 6 rebounds to only his 1 rebound. So, yeah, I think Grady had a better game than Jordan Hawkins last night. But that's something me personally, I'll be gauging because I preferred Jordan Hawkins in the draft and Masai and Bobby picked Grady. And hey, I have no problem with that. No problem with that. Kareem saying KC can tuggle this dick. I'm out. What? What are you talking about, man? That's crazy. What phrasing? Why'd you make me read that? Why'd you make me read that? Mike saying, we streaking. We streaking. That's what Mike texted me that last night. I'm like, I'm going to bed. I'm falling asleep. And all of a sudden I get a text from Mike on the phone. We streaking. I was like, put your damn clothes on and get back inside the house. That's what I'm saying. Kaz is saying Queen is also almost 2 years older than Common as well, which is also a factor. Well, that is an important distinction. So he should be more polished, but maybe Malak has more rawness that can be developed into something else. We'll have to see. Fiercely saying, gotta go, fam. W stream. Thank you. Bye, MJ. And Jill saying, Lex, I'm confident in the Raptors no matter my reaction. This team rocks. That's what I want to hear. And somebody's, I don't want to, oh no. I said what I had to say on that, Joe. Sometimes our personalities are just weird together. And I just want to think the best and have optimism and put more energy of positive thinking out in the world. And that's why I think it. So, yeah, that's why I try and counterbalance some of your comments with saying, Jill, don't worry about it. This is a game of runs. The Raptors are going to be okay. We have to put faith in the higher power that whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And the Raptors are going to be all right. And the reason why they're going to be all right is because Coach Darko has them doing things the right way, in the way that will make them be successful. And that's why I have confidence in them. I trust in Masai. Well, I'm learning to trust in Darko also. I'm learning to trust into Darko. Stargate saying at Kaz, well, we will see. Neither of us are team decision makers on the front, so we'll see what route Bobby and Masai take. I do hope that out of the general of what we're talking about right here, that they do pick a 4 or 5. And that's part of the reason why I don't really want one of the top 3 guys, because in some ways they're not those kind of positions. I know Cooper Flagg in some ways is a power forward, but in some ways he's not really. Ace Bailey is slight of build, and he's not necessarily the kind of player that I want on our team for what we want with our needs, which is defense and rebounding. I want more long arm. And that's why somebody like Tugler that we just saw is looking really good to me. That's why, Queen is my top prospect so far for this draft that I've seen, is because I want rebounding and defense. That's what I want to add more to our team, because in some ways we know that Jakob is the first line and in some ways the only line for some of the stuff he's doing for our team, and we need more depth in that kind of department. And that's why I was like, I don't care about offensive stuff in some ways in this draft. I want a big body that's a talented, skilled big man that can play in this league for a long, long time, that is going to rim protect, block shots, and rebound. That's what I want. Some people may want another 3-point shooter. Some maybe want this or that, but this is just how I am with it. That's right. This is just how I am. This is what I feel like I want. But maybe Bob and Masai are like, hey, we're going to take the most talented, best player available, and it may be a point guard. It may be a point guard. Who knows? Yeah, Kaz saying 10-4 Stargate. Either way, I much prefer they draft a big regardless. So Common or Queen, I'm good with it. Same thing I'm with Trucker Kaz on that. Queen is also from Mount Verde, like Scotty. That's fantastic. So is RJ. So, yeah, this is fantastic. Keep it in the family. That's what I'm saying. They're probably very familiar with each other. Scotty knows most of the guys who went to Montverde. He has a lot of different connections and friendships around the league that you'd be surprised. Scotty with a lot of friends all over the place. Let's see. Kaz is saying, I'll take Grady over Jordan any day. Can't teach size. That is something that Grady does have over Jordan Hawkins. Yes. Stargate saying at Kaz, yeah, both are big, strong dudes, so either will work out. I'm with you, Lex, draft a big. Yeah, I think that's the one thing where I messed up when I scouted Grady, was because he was so slight a build. I really thought he would never be able to physically play in the NBA correctly, but I've been proven wrong in his rookie year and this year, that even though he looks like a kid and he looks like he shouldn't have any strength in the league, he's holding his own, and he's been really tough. And he's really taken a lot of physicality for not being so strong. And he knows he's going to get stronger and stronger, and he's still going to grow into it. But that's the one thing that I overlooked, is that Grady Dick is taller than Jordan Hawkins. And even those 3 inches or so are a huge bonus for Grady. Huge bonus. You're exactly right. Name was saying, can we appreciate how many Toronto drafted players are contributing to winning and how historically difficult and uncommon that is for the rest of the league to accomplish? Raptors are a unicorn. Well, that's what I'm saying. In some ways, that may be why we get the knock that we're a farm team for the rest of the league, because we see people like OG, Fred, and Pascal go off the greener pastures and do amazing things for other teams. I mean, it's true. The track record of Bobby and Masai running this team is really, really good. Like I said, if there's a percentage of making hits on draft picks and transactions, Bobby and Masai have one of the best successful percentages out of all the GMs and front offices in this league, that they just hit on stuff. And like I said, a really good example is last year's 5 players that are rookies right now that have been brought into our team. All 5 of them are useful, and they're contributing in ways that are helping our team right away. Even Shamshay on the lower level of the G League, not even playing the NBA that much. He looks like such a steal at the end of the draft last year. So it's like, our track record is so good. Norman Powell, OG Anunoby. I mean, we have a really good track record with our front office that we have right now. We just really do. Kaz saying, I believe Grady will get better on defense as he gets stronger as well. Yeah, I agree with that too. All right, we got to the end of this here, so we'll go ahead and do this here, and that's the classic card. Okay, we'll go ahead and do this. This is crazy. All right, we're gonna have 2 Magic players in a row. And this one's even harder than the one yesterday. Yesterday's was kind of hard, but this one's even harder. Name is saying Raptors are still the best drafting organization in the entire league. I will agree with that. Kaz is saying Ulrich would go 20 to 30th in this year's draft. I think he'd go higher. I think he'd go between 10 and 20, honestly. Mike's saying, I explained the whole Bruce Brown thing, why we picked up his option. No trade machine BS, though. Mike has been making clips again on his channel. So y'all, if you do not subscribe to Logical Raptors Fanatics YouTube channel, do it right now. and check out his little clips. He's doing little 5-minute clips where he's just explaining stuff about front office stuff with the Raptors. And he's way better at this than I am. He knows the minutia and the semantics and the different little details of being a GM in the front office with the salary cap and stuff. So Mike can really break it down with the numbers in a way that's easy to understand. That's why I love Logical Raptors Fanatics channel, is because he takes a lot of the heady front office stuff that my eyes glaze over about, and he can explain it in a way to average fans so they understand it. So give a subscribe and a follow to Mike's channel right now. Logical's Raptors Fanatic. He's going to explain the Bruce Brown stuff for you so you can know. Yeah. The Stargate saying year 3 Grady will be way better. Watch. Yeah, I'm all about that. W Mike. All right, here we go. Here's the classic card of the day. Let's see if anybody knows who this classic Magic player is. This is a hard one. Respect. Yeah, respect to you. Project Truth always, Mike. Project Truth always. This is a weird one, man. He looks kind of like Michael Cooper. That's not Michael Cooper. I'd forgotten about this guy until I looked at this card just now. Yeah, I do remember him playing for the Magic, but this is going to be a hard one. This may be a $300, 300-point card, seriously, because this dude is not an easy one. This is an Orlando Magic player. You guys aren't able to see his number. So there's no way for you to figure it out from his number right there. You thought it was Cooper too. Yeah, he looks a little bit like Michael Cooper in the face, but he isn't Michael Cooper. I will say this. He has the same first name. All right, I'll give you that clue. He has the same first name as Michael Cooper. That's you got half the answer right there. Mike Tyrese Evans. That's not right, Mike. Vernon Maxwell is not right either, Kaz. But he has the same name as Cooper. Let's just say that. So that's half the answer right there. So you can figure it out from there. He's got the same name as old 23. He's got the same name as the King of Pop. Classic card looking like R&B singer on the cover of a magazine. Why? Because he's laying back and sitting back. He needs a little Tiger, like Thriller album. he's a Lionel Richie album cover. Is that what you're saying? Michael Redd? No, it's not Michael Reed or Michael Redd. It's not Michael Redd. Name was saying I'm way behind here, but Robinson has been absolutely fantastic. He has really impressed me. Orlando Robinson. Yeah, you're way behind. We talked about Orlando like an hour ago. Let's see. Yeah, but yeah, Michael who? Who is this, guys? Which Michael is this? It's not Michael Redd. It's not Michael Cooper. It's not Michael Jordan. It's not Michael Jackson. It's not Michael in the Machines. Which Michael is Michael Beasley? No, that's not Michael Beasley. Man, this is going to be a 300 card because you guys are really struggling with it, man. I got to keep this guy, Orlando Robinson. Yeah, you're way behind. Hit live, nameless. Hit live. Trevor's saying they're saying Pat Riley said he's going to trade Jimmy Butler he's going to say what you're repeating yourself to the Washington Wizards. He's going to trade Jimmy Butler to Washington Wizards. Why'd you say that like 3 times? Were you laughing while you were saying that? I can see this is why. I'm going to do a dramatic interpretation of Trevor J telling me this right now. Okay, he erased it. That's funny. I bet you he was saying that while he's laughing, and that's why you repeated it over and over again. He's like, he said Pat Riley said he's gonna trade him. Pat Riley said he's gonna trade him. He's gonna trade him the Washington Wizards. Pat Riley's gonna trade him. That's why he did it that way. I think that's why it is. That's why it is. He deleted it. It's fine. But that's funny. I think that's funny too, Trevor, that if Pat Riley trades him to the Wizards, that'd be hilarious. Maybe that's how Jonas gets to Miami. Who knows? Howard Wright. That is not right. His first name is Michael. So, Michael Thompson. That is not the father of Klay Thompson. That is not Michael Thompson. Where is Smooth Brown Man? He should maybe know this. Michael Jackson. It's not Michael Jackson. Man, I might have to do the second ever stumped classic card if this continues. In some ways, I'm BSing to allow you guys a little bit more time, but it seems like we may have found another stump. I might have gotten this one, to be honest, because I was paying really close attention to Magic at this time. And I do remember this player. I watched him play. But it's a really hard one. I get it. Silk Brown Man. Where's the Silk Brown Man? All right, y'all. I'm going to give y'all another 20 seconds. And then if nobody gets it, it's going to 0, and nobody's going to get it. It'll be the second ever classic card that nobody got. Stoko Varankovic being the first one. Y'all did not get Varankovic. Well, it looks like you're not going to get this Michael. You guys even have half the name. That's the craziest thing. You have half the name, and you still can't get this. You know his first name is Michael, but you don't know what the rest of it is. That's too bad. That's too bad. All right, I've gone over 20 seconds. It's Michael Ansley is his name. Michael Ansley is the name of this player. Michael Ansley. Yeah, do you guys know Michael Ansley? No, I guess not. Yeah, he was on the Magic for a couple years there. I remember when he was a rookie. Michael Ansley. Yeah, Ansley. Michael Ansley. Trevor said, "I know who that is, but I cannot say." Why wouldn't you answer, man? You can play. You're not exempt from playing classic card. Trevor, I'd like you to play. Seriously. If you know the classic card, even though you bought them and sent them to me, doesn't mean you shouldn't be playing. I know you're administrator. You're the commissioner of fun, but commission me somebody getting this card. You should have said it, Michael Ansley. Come on, man. Come on, man. We don't want these to not go by. Trevor, you need to answer, bro. If you know it, you need to answer. I don't want you to sit out just because you feel like you're a producer on the channel. Let's see. Kaz saying, I only know so many Michaels. Yeah, Michael, what was his name? The runner? Michael Phelps. No, Michael Phelps, he's the swimmer, right? Swimmer. Let's see. Michael Phillips. That's right. What? No. Let's see. Kaz is saying, wow, Trevor, you should have answered. He looks so much like Cooper. Now we have two that have not been found. Yeah, Michael Ansley will go into the pile with Stoko Barankovic. Michael Pietrus. No, it's not Michael Pietrus. It is Michael Ansley, and you guys have not gotten it today. It's too bad. It is what it is. It's going to happen sometimes, I guess. Michael Ansley was somebody that, I might have gotten. I would have guessed him at some point if I was on the other side, guys. Namus is putting the Austrian flag up and saying Jakob is his favorite player. All right, I'm with you on that. All right, let's keep going. Let me get out of here. We're going to see what else there is to talk about. There's a birthday. Happy birthday to Omar Cook. Omar Cook is 43 this morning. Happy 43rd birthday, Omar Cook, former Raptor player. I don't think he played for us for very long at all. All right, let's do the rundown. Last night, the Raptors won their fourth straight win against New Orleans Pelicans at home. It's a fantastic game. They started a little bit sloppy, but they made up for it by the end of the first. And then they had a really bad third quarter where they let the Pelicans take the lead after having a 16-point lead at half. And but they cleaned things up in the last half and outscored them by 10 and ended up winning by 9 points, which is fantastic. So good job by the Raptors. My stars of the game were Jakob Poeltl, Chris Boucher, Scotty Barnes, Bruce Brown, and RJ Barrett. Yeah. Real quick, Blake Murphy's saying that the Raptors 905 players, Jacoby and Jonathan and Jameson, and the two-ways are all with the 905 for tomorrow's game, and they will not be traveling to Washington with the rest of the team to play the Wizards. Let's see. I said the happy birthday. Y'all check out the Kensington Variety VIP Club. Always got some cool stuff going on that channel with the Goofy show and stuff happening. There'll be a new episode out tomorrow from 5 years ago today. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching me. Tomorrow we'll preview the Raptors 905 versus Birmingham Squadron in the Asian Heritage game out at Paramount 5 Food Center. And also the Raptors going for a fifth straight victory against Valanciunas, Kyle Kuzma, and the Washington Wizards in D.C. tomorrow night. I'll have the latest lineup news and the ref report fresh and hot for you in the morning like a Timbits. That's right. Let's go, Raptors. Let's go, Raptors. Keep winning. W's are awesome. I'm not an anti-W person. Why are you saying that, Leo, on the broadcast? That's just going to propagate foolishness in our fan nation when they hear a bona fide TV personality like you, Leo Routens, saying that you feel like the Raptors are winning too much right now. Nah, fuck that, Leo. Come on, man. We're competitors. We want to win. RJ and Scotty ain't living this life to get L's. They trying to catch W's. So, yeah, we ain't trying to catch L's. So, yeah, get with the program. Everybody, Stank Nation, stop being stankies and just be happy that our team's winning. Seriously. Let's go, Raptors. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Let's go, Raptors. Let's go.